going on? I am Nando.
Hi, mate. I'm DJ.
Hello there, Governor. My name is Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Top of the morning to ya.
This week, we are doing a movie that, it's the hottest movie in America this week. And also a movie that most of you will be hearing about for the first time. It's one of those. This week,
But
people have been guessing on the Discord. What are we doing?
All across America have been watching it nonstop.
They take a break from their Red Notice to check this out, and they love it because it might as well take place in the Red Notice-averse. We'll see. But we're watching the new Netflix spy movie, Back in Action. No Looney Tunes in this one. Not yet.
Well, let's not promise anything.
Yeah, that's true. There's a Looney Tune if you know what, there's a couple of Looney Tunes if you ask me.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Speaking of Looney Tunes, let's talk about the government. Just kidding. We're not a political podcast. We're an entertainment podcast. So let's talk about our new Hollywood ambassadors, you guys. That's my news of the week. Have you heard about our Hollywood ambassadors?
I heard that this program existed. I did not hear who was appointed.
Oh, you got to guess. Okay. There's 3 of them. Okay, so for people that don't know, this happened before the inauguration too. I think this was like Wednesday last week. And we're in the United States. This is the 22nd, by the way. So these guys all might get fired in like a day. I don't know how this works, but President-elect Donald Trump has appointed 3 film stars to be special ambassadors tasked with promoting business opportunities in Hollywood. I'm reading off the BBC's website.
Okay.
I will give you both, you go one at a time. These are people that are currently alive and working in Hollywood, and that's all I will say. And they are the new ambassadors of Hollywood. So we'll probably have to run the podcast by them, see what they think. Which one wants to go first to taking a shot at our wonderful ambassadors?
Mel Gibson.
That's one of them. Yep. Mel Gibson is maybe the lead ambassador in all of these lists.
That shit is a layup.
He said in his statement, when he received the news at the same time as all of you, so he was very surprised. Nevertheless, my duty as a citizen is to give and help and insight as I can. I'm
pretty sure there are a few key points that we already agree on. So
yeah. Although Gibson, who recently lost his home in the wildfires, asked, any chance the position comes with an ambassador's residence? Because that guy's a kidder, he doesn't mean most of the things he says, apparently, depending on who you ask. But yeah, so that's Mel. 2022's Father Stu himself, or Father Stu's dad, or whoever the fuck he was in that movie. And he comes up on the podcast a lot. I will say, out of these 3 guys, he is the most frequent person we talk about in the fewest movies we've done. I would say both of these other guys, I don't know about both of them. One of them for sure is in more movies we've talked about. So, Diggins, would you like to take a shot at one of our other ambassadors?
I'm going to go with Zachary Levi.
Ooh. No, that's a good guess, but he is not an ambassador. I don't know where he is, what his deal is. I know he has a movie coming out, and it's another one where he's a little boy or something. But
I think he's doing those.
Yeah. Isn't it the one that's like the inspirational story of this kid who has autism and also brittle bone disease?
Oh, is that
he's
it?
Like the dad?
Oh, so he's not the baby boy? Oh,
he's not the baby boy. Anyway, it looks really, really, really schmaltzy. Like just unbearably.
I'm going to take a guess to say that's probably the Unbreakable Boy.
There you go.
Yeah, that is quite schmaltzy. What's everyone's favorite director? John Gunn. That's who we all like, right? That's the one.
Is he one of the other Guns?
Apparently, yeah. Maybe. I don't know what his deal is. A movie by someone named Gunn, first name Jay Gunn. But yeah. So he is not. So it is not Zachary Levi, although I do think he would fit right in. Although I do think she does not share one thing with these guys that they do share, I would say. DJ, you want to take another guess at one of our wonderful Hollywood ambassadors?
Gina Carano.
No, another good guess, but it is not her. She's too busy being a big star with her stupid movies that nobody likes on the Daily Wire or whatever.
And suing Disney to force them to hire her.
Yeah. And
well, now she won't have a problem, I think. I think it'll be a lot easier now.
I was gonna say, I think they're gonna have to digitally edit her face into that new Snow White movie somehow or something. She's gonna be the new Rachel Zegler. I don't know. It's good. It's gonna be great, everybody. But no, yeah, she's while Gina Carano is a good guess, I will say Mel Gibson is, I would say, closer for a bunch of reasons. But one is that he's like not like quite as much of a flavor of the month as these other guys. Whereas like he's one of those guys who like, yeah, we knew for a while he would be one of these guys.
I see.
Yeah. So Diggins, you want to take another shot?
Wait, are you saying the other two are surprises?
No, they're not. Like they're closer to Mel Gibson in that they are like they're people like let's just describe it without giving it away. Gina Carano is like A, not really an actor, but B, like she's kind of shown up and done the whole thing over the last couple of years. Whereas these are people who like if 10 years ago you'd be like, who's like a conservative in Hollywood? These guys would come up.
I think I got what you're putting down.
I'm gonna go with our favorite boner man, John Voight.
John Voight is one of our wonderful Hollywood ambassadors. That's right.
That's probably what got him the job. That boner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And according to this, I don't know. He didn't really say anything in the thing. It's weird. I don't see a quote from him in this article. The other two have quotes. These two, I don't know. His quote was probably really rough. So I don't want to trouble John Voight for quotes. But DJ, do you want to take a guess at our last ambassador?
Harrison Ford.
No, God, no.
What? Really?
I don't know.
Is he
That
cool?
guy,
I wasn't
I
sure.
don't know about cool. They don't let you. They don't let you be
he's
on the
cooler
club if
than
you got that earring. Come on.
All right. Well, all right. Let me try again. Sam Elliott.
No, good guess, but no.
Okay.
I would say out of the three of them, this one is the highest profile.
Whoa. Okay.
Not
Really?
necessarily like now, but just all time. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Diggins.
Ooh. All time.
Yeah, it's tough. More than. Oh
Yeah.
man,
I would say this person is like a movie star.
It can't be Clooney. Like literally can't. He like gave billions of dollars to Joe
There's
Biden.
no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Maybe.
Yeah, it can't be Clooney.
Maybe that was all just a trap. You know, maybe it works. I don't know.
Maybe that was M. Night Shyamalan's trap.
Mm-hmm.
I have one, but I don't think he's typically known as conservative.
Okay. Well, take a
But I'm going to
guess.
say it anyway because he is a Scientologist.
Oh.
John Travolta?
No, interesting guess, and like in the right range of megastar. And I will say the other thing about this man is I don't know how he knows Trump. I'm assuming he knows Trump from a lot of things. And by the way, in case anybody's confused, we think Donald Trump sucks, and these guys all suck. But this one, I would say, probably has met him in Miami because I believe that is where he lives. And Donald Trump, obviously, Mar-a-Lago in Florida. They probably cross paths there. And if he's not a Miami resident, for a lot of people, he is known as a Miami resident.
Will Smith?
No, but he's someone you might
It's also
find in
what
Miami. Will Smith would also probably meet this person in Miami. Probably be exciting for him.
I mean, there's no way it's Pacino.
No, but you're not super far off.
Oh my God. Is it well, again, it can't be De Niro. He fucking hates Trump.
Yeah, it's not De Niro.
This is tough.
But you're on the right track in one specific way.
Like, it's an old guy, because of course it is. It's got to be all people that like. It's not Tom Cruise, because he's kind of an old guy now.
No, I feel like Tom Cruise is one of those guys that's super apolitical. Like when it comes to just presenting himself in public.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, he has a very managed brand.
Yeah.
And it's not Arnold Schwarzenegger because he also hates Trump.
Nope, hates Trump. Yeah.
This is
I think
tough.
you can do this. Like, I do think this is someone that eventually you will guess. I also think, like, he doesn't come up on the podcast a ton, but we've done movies that he's been in, I don't know, the last couple of years.
It's not
We'd
Marlon
never
Brando
do...
because he's dead.
He is dead. And there's no dead people on this list. As of right now.
I mean, they'd be a
the
poor
22nd
ambassador, I feel like,
Yeah.
Well, an ambassador to heaven.
I mean, yeah. It's important.
Some people probably need that. Good gosh. Well, this is probably painful. I don't know. Old
like
Miami
I said,
guy.
you may know Will Smith from Miami.
Martin Lawrence?
No. This is, I think, one of the greatest clues in history.
Oh wait, is it oh my god.
Orc Cop.
Yeah, that guy. Can't even remember his name.
Is it Tommy Lee Jones?
No. Why Tommy Lee Jones?
Because like Men in Black, I don't know.
Oh yeah, no.
Well, that's not in Miami. That's in New York.
On the right track in terms of guy. Again, we're really circling him. But yeah, very.
Is it one of our whites? Is it one?
One of our whites.
Of course it is.
Still alive.
Yep.
He's a
right
big
now,
star.
humongous star. Cannot walk down the street, I'm sure, without getting mobbed by people.
Even now?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. If I saw this person in real life, I would probably gasp and fall over. That's how famous this person is.
Danny DeVito.
Oh my God, no. Danny DeVito is so cool. He would never do that.
Danny DeVito was a big Bernie guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Although, share something interesting and specific with Danny DeVito as well. Kind of.
Is he a New Jerseyan? Is it Bruce Springsteen?
No, not necessarily.
Adam Sandler.
Not a New Jerseyan, perhaps. Perhaps something else.
Is he in a place that it's always sunny?
Maybe he is. And maybe he's not from there, but maybe people would assume he is.
Are there people screaming at the podcast right now? They're
Yeah.
like, guys!
Now
guys!
the fact that I've never watched a full episode of Always Sunny ever is really coming back on me here.
I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think he's ever been on the show. But he is just, I think for reasons that would make sense, that would be a good, you're on the right track again. Let's say all the things we know about this man. It is not Charlie Day. What do we have? What are we working with here?
Miami, old person, white.
Old white man. Yep.
That part was a given.
Yeah.
Very famous.
Incredibly famous.
Ron DeSantis.
No. The Miami connection, I'm going to be honest, I think you guys just both don't know it, but it is funny that you don't know it. See, it's not about that he lives in Miami. It's that it's no surprise you might see him in Miami. No surprise that Will Smith might see him in Miami. Because it's his second home. Will Smith's second home.
Pitbull.
No.
Now
But
I
also,
feel like
what was the other thing we just got out of this? What was the other little hint or tidbit about this man?
that he's connected to Danny DeVito?
Not quite.
That he's connected to Philadelphia?
Perhaps.
Oh God, is it Sylvester Stallone?
Yep, it is Sly Stallone. That's right. Yeah, in Miami, the song says $100,000 cars. Everybody got him. Ain't no surprise in the club to see Sly Stallone. Miami, my second home.
God, okay.
But yeah, Sylvester Stallone, one of our most famous, and I do think like one of the most famous actors, on Earth.
Probably.
Just by virtue of being, but all these guys, a megastar 30 years ago, which I think is probably why Trump, mostly associates with them, and why I don't think exactly Levi Gina Carano would get it. Exactly. And that's when he was really crushing it. Like the 80s and 90s was when everybody liked him. So that really helps. But yeah, those are our ambassadors. And so, like I said, Sly Stallone, he did give a quote for this article. He compared the president-elect to America's first leader, calling him the second George Washington. Without him, you can imagine what the world would look like, he said. He added Washington, who was president from 1789 to 1797, didn't realize he would change the world when he defended his country. So, you know, that's what's like.
He might have.
I think he probably knew. I think he was like, I hope I changed it. What do you think? He was like, see if this America thing works out. You know, take it or leave it. I don't know.
He was almost right. It worked out for a while.
Yeah.
Depends who you ask.
Yeah, it's fair.
But yeah, so those are our three guys. I also think you were close when you kept naming Italian Americans. There was a point where you were like Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and I was like, yeah, Sylvester Stallone, the other one of those. But yeah. So have we ever had these before, right? Yeah. It's usually just been that the Hollywood guys are just like George Clooney is in charge of Hollywood, and then he just is with the president or is not. But interesting.
Everything's politicized
but now there's going to be a hostile takeover of Hollywood by these three men.
Mm-hmm. And I'd be very worried because Sylvester Stallone is big and tough still, probably. Not as worried about Jon Voight. He's got one, maybe two arrows in him.
Hey, I was going to say,
I think he's over.
Fuck you up with a crossbow.
It's not a crossbow. It's a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
My brain made it a crossbow because of course, there's no way he could fire a bow and arrow with his old man arms.
It makes way more sense.
Obviously.
But that's why it's important that it's a bow and arrow, because it's way funnier.
Yeah. I would also bet Mel Gibson is probably currently jacked. I don't know what his deal is, but he just seems like one of those guys.
On a ton of HGH, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody. I feel like HGH is so big now, and it just, and not to defame any of our wonderful Hollywood ambassadors specifically, but just in general, it seems like everybody is cool with just using lots of HGH in a way that you would never have imagined a decade ago. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
but we got other problems anyway. So those are our ambassadors. Who do you think is going to fall out of favor first? Which one of them do you think, if Flight Risk, Mel Gibson's new movie, bombs, he will be taken off his ambassadorship?
Yeah, it's like, you didn't do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if anyone, it would probably be Stallone, because Mel Gibson has the true believer bona fides.
Yeah.
Because of those things that he said that one time.
Right.
And those other times.
And all those other
people
times
that say
also.
He says them a lot. Yeah.
And the ways that he still says them right now, according to some people. Jon Voight has the sexual assault bona fides.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, that's really got it. That's something they share that they can bond over.
Mm-hmm.
Stallone doesn't have any of that. I feel like if anyone, if he ends up annoying him, which he will, because he gets annoyed by everyone because he only cares about himself.
Mm-hmm.
He has nothing to fall back on for them to bond over.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. Yeah. What's Jon Voight is currently 86 years old too. He's up there.
Stallone does not currently have any allegations. I have not looked into this.
If he does, he's doing a good job hiding them, because I've never heard of them either. But yeah, I'm curious about Jon Voight. Do you know they're remaking Anaconda this year, by the way?
Yeah, it's one of those weird meta ones where it's about the making of Anaconda.
Yep. And they're remaking something else he made too. Have we talked about this on the podcast? It's another classic Jon Voight movie that's getting a remake or a really late sequel this year out of nowhere.
Megalopolis.
I wish. Listen, looking back at Megalopolis, what an important movie, Some movie makes it's such an interesting little thing. But no, it's something else. What's he known for? Oh, Holes. They're getting a Holes show. You watch Holes? Yeah.
Jon Voight is in Holes?
He is. He is Mr. Sir, the guy in charge or something, I think. I don't know how that worked, but he's in there. Yeah. Back in the day, he would just be in all the movies, and that would just be the rules. And now it's going to be the rules again, but it used to be the rules because people liked him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they actually did an executive order about that today. Shia LaBeouf's just got to be in all the... Oh, no, that's Shia LaBeouf. Excuse me, Jon Voight. Shia LaBeouf is also in Holes.
Yeah, he is in
So
Holes.
Megalopolis was a Holes reunion.
Also,
That's true.
I think your instincts are right about Shia LaBeouf, Diggins. I think he's probably gonna be part of that cohort.
Well, he like John Voight has something in common.
Yeah. And gee, they were in Transformers together. That's right.
Oh man,
2007's
right.
Transformers. Yeah. What's your favorite John Voight movie, you guys? He's got a lot of them.
National Treasure.
Yeah, National Treasure's pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty good. No, he's the dad, right, or something?
yeah, he's dead.
I don't remember what he did in the Tomb Raider movie, but it's saying he played a character named Lord Richard Croft, and that's got to be a fucking accent for the ages. Because he's her dad in real life, right? Like he's Angelina Jolie's real dad, but I guess in the continuity of the movie he is too. But in the movie, she's pretty British, like she's doing the whole thing. So I don't know what that means for him. What about you, Diggins? What's your favorite John Voight film? You want him to remake, maybe?
If we
and
had to remake,
you can't say the Roe v. Wade movie from 2019 because obviously that would be expected, but you can't say
obviously.
That.
What we should remake is Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2.
I was gonna say he's in some Baby Geniuses movies. Yeah, I'm shocked we have not done those because he is in. It seems like most of the Baby Geniuses movies, including Baby Geniuses: The Mystery of the Crown Jewels, Baby Geniuses: The Television Show, and Baby Geniuses and the Treasure of Egypt. They space dogged, or not space dogged, they airbutted the Baby Genius franchise in a way that I did not know about. But yeah, he is the most important of the Baby Geniuses.
Airbutting, it's just a funny verb. It's like,
well, I only say that because one of them, and they go to space. One of them's called Baby Geniuses in the Space Baby.
Okay.
So that felt very much like those. I was gonna say my favorite John Voight movie is Fantastic Beasts 1, where he plays the senator or something. Remember that?
There's a senator in Fantastic Beasts?
Yeah, because there's a whole thing, or like a mayor, like an ex-mayor whose son is campaigning to be the new mayor. And then
the magic mayor or the regular mayor?
I think it's the regular mayor. And then Credence, the Ezra Miller Cloud or whatever that he is, comes and like disrupts his mayoral thing. And I think he lifts John Voight up like a little puppet and makes him speak weird or something.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe he just dad did that on the day. I don't know. He's a real loose cannon. But yeah. So he's pretty good. But yeah, you can find John Voight in a lot of weird little movies. He's in An American Carol, where he plays George Washington.
Oh, that's got to be his favorite role.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
I was going to say the other one he's in is in that Reagan movie playing a character named Victor Petrovich. So that's probably pretty important to him. I mean, honestly, Megalopolis is probably his favorite role. And if I were him, it'd be my favorite role of his too. Because like you get to be in bed for most of it. It was great.
Yeah, you didn't have to act. He just kind of said his lines.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he also got to bite Kramer on Seinfeld. Remember that? Was it Kramer? He bit one of them because they had John Voight's LeBaron. They had to check if the LeBaron was his, and they didn't know. So they found a pencil. They found bite marks on the pencil. And they tried to get John Voight to bite them to check the bite marks to see if they were actually.
Oh yeah,
he did show up in that episode.
Very Seinfeld-y plot, that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was great. Like because Seinfeld is just it's so good. But yeah, so those are our guys. Those are our ambassadors.
Good.
Hooray. You got 2 Expendables on that list. Interesting. Was John Voight ever in? I don't think he was ever in the Expendables. He's probably busy with Baby Geniuses. But
yeah, Nando, just you wait.
I was gonna say the thing with waiting on John Voight movies in the future is probably not gonna be that many. I don't see a lot of them coming down the pipeline. He has none in his future movies.
Well,
on IMDb.
They'll AI him in, right? That's
true. Yeah.
Definitely the plan.
I mean, we're going to have to make some new Baby Geniuses movies, and they just won't be the same without John Voight's character, who is named...
I think he actually plays different characters.
Oh, get out. He shows up in every one, and you're like, this is the John Voight guy. And you're psyched to see him.
Yeah, it's like looking for John Ratzenberger in a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
You're like, where's John Voight this time?
So I don't want to spoil this because maybe this will be fun in the future, but you're right. He does play different characters. His first character is a character named Cain. I'm not sure if this is the wrestler or the biblical Cain, but then his character in a lot of the more recent ones is just named Moriarty. And I have to assume that's the one from Sherlock Holmes stuff, right? Like, is popping out that English accent he got in Lara Croft Tomb Raider, giving it another run.
Oh, hell yeah.
You can't waste that. But great, good for him. Well, that's movies these days. But they made other movies. There's some movies without him in it.
What?
Yeah.
How dare they?
Well, that won't be the case anymore, Nando.
Yeah, none of the ambassadors are in this one. Even though it takes place in London and you got an actor doing an accent. Well, I don't know. Is that what that one guy really sounds like?
Yeah,
because he's putting on a little bit. I know he's British, but he's not like that British, right? I've never heard him speak. I don't know. Like I bet every British person also seems to be able to do like 5 different British accents that are like the different regional ones, and that can't be real. But maybe it is. We'll get to it. But yeah, we got a movie this week. I already forgot what it's called. Born Again or something. Back in action. Yeah. That's going to be what they call the sequel that John Voight is in. But Back in Action is the first of this year of the Netflix spy movies that are all, more or less identical. And it cracked the top 10 of Netflix's. They loved it. The people thought it was great. I believe it is currently rocking a strong 20-ish on Rotten Tomatoes. But that doesn't take into account the audience score. Let's check what that is.
That's probably a solid 100.
Solid 61. Still failing grade, but
I was gonna say it's not
awesome. Not everything. And yeah, it stars obviously, as you'd see on the poster, Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz, who I believe, I saw this in a bunch of the reviews, this is like her first movie back in a while, it seems like.
Yeah, in like 10 years, I think.
What? No way.
Yeah. I mean, she was in the Other Woman movie or something. I remember that.
She was in like Bad Moms or something.
Yeah, Bad Teacher. She is the bad teacher.
That was a long time ago.
But yeah, that is 2011, which was recently, because otherwise it would mean we're old, So that can't be right.
I'm not conceding that shit.
The last time she was in a movie before this one was in 2014.
Holy shit!
As Annie as Miss Hannigan. So
all right, well,
we'll
Shrek 5 next year. So it's the.
That's true.
Oh, that should have been a prediction that this would be like the Diaz-a-sance.
Well, Shrek 5 is next year.
Currently on the hook for 2026.
Yeah, but you slow build, right?
That's right.
I don't think she's doing anything this year besides this.
No, I mean, that's all you need. This could, depending on what we think of it, this could be the Diaz-a-sance. Like that's open true. And close the book of 2025. But yeah, before that, we have to do the IMDb game. And
obviously.
The IMDb BS and Spelling Bee, which is a classic, mostly nitpicking game. And because I won last week, I am in charge. And I get to tell you guys where the IMDb summaries actually come from. It is a mystery, or it was a mystery. It is somewhat mysterious. A closely guarded secret, mostly because there are a series of people, like there's a group of people that currently driving across the country, mostly in the center of the country of America. Whenever we say the country, that's the one we mean. But we
obviously, what other country would we be talking about, Nando?
Yeah, they're going across.
These colors don't run,
and they got a lot of equipment. They got like big old beams and fucking what else do they have? A lot of balls and a big laser. And what they are looking for is, as we all know, and famously, the main thing in most movies, tornadoes, because they can use the tornadoes once they get the information from the tornadoes to predict what the IMDb summaries are going to be. That's why the movies about tornadoes, the Twister series is, they say very, very small print based on a true story, but it's because they changed it because in the movies it's about predicting where the tornadoes are going to go. But in real life, it's to predict what the IMDb summaries are going to be for movies. And it has to do with like the height of the tornado, the width, how many guys and cows and whatever it gets. All that information is fed through a very scientific model, a lot of math, and everyone spits out different IMDb summary. Now, I will say, based on the different classifications of the tornadoes themselves, usually, F0 to 5, the IMDb summaries are on different, I would say, levels of correctness. But it's just because it's harder to measure the bigger tornadoes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would say this is quite a small tornado because it more or less gets it. And nothing to write home about this summary. Everyone will survive this summary tornado that, it's not going to, it's like that one from Brooklyn the other, remember that when there's a tornado in like New York? You guys remember that?
I do
it's
not.
Like a couple of years ago.
Not really.
Yeah. It was like, It wasn't that big of a tornado, but it was like technically a tornado. I think it was like an F1 or something. But yeah, so
racing.
That's exactly right. Yeah. I'm interested what happens with that Formula One movie. People will expect an F1, but maybe it'll be much larger. But yeah, so DJ and Diggins, I want you guys to guess the summary based off of what the tornado data compiled. And I want to start with last week's loser, which was DJ, I think.
It was.
You get to choose whether you want to go first or second. And like I said, pretty straightforward. Nothing crazy here. Just go with your heart, and we'll see.
I mean, I'm gonna make Diggins go first to just put the pressure on. So pressure's on.
Pressure's on, boys. Diggins, what do you got?
Spies, Matt and Emily decide to retire to raise their kids, but get pulled back into the game years later when their past threatens to put their new lives at risk.
Okay. DJ?
Two spies, Matt and Emily, must decide to, restart.
Blah.
Two ex-spies, Matt and Emily, are pulled back into the spy game after their identities are exposed, and they must go on a mission to protect their family.
Okay. One of you definitely got it. And I can't even justify like a game because it was such a runaway. I will say there were certain things that neither of you, necessarily got right. But like overall, pretty good. I did want to ask, well, you know what? No, maybe we didn't need to do it. You know what? No, here's my one tiebreaker. This is going to be my tiebreaker. If one of you can get it on the nose, that will help. But I don't even know if that could surmount the victory that is being held back. This movie starts with as a lot of these do, flashback to the past, where it is, what year is it? 2015, I think, something like that. Maybe less.
Well, no, I don't think they ever give a hard year, but I would guess.
We know how much time goes by. Yeah, I would guess.
Sure, yeah. I think 2010, based on when, assuming this movie takes place in the present day, which it must because that kid ain't playing no Switch 2. That's what I know.
That's right.
But if that is the case, they do that thing a lot of these movies do where they play a song to set the stage for when the movie happened. Kind of like how the Iron Man 3 starts with the Blue song, because that was a big hit in the new millennium 2000. Do either of you guys remember what the song they chose for that is? And for like extra important credit, what year that actually came out? Because I found this quite confusing.
I don't remember the song.
Nothing. No. Diggins, any guess?
There's no way.
Okay. It was That Thing by Lauryn Hill. A song that came out in 1997 or something like that. Like, so really bad for what they were going for. Really confused me.
I would argue, and this is something I'll get into later, it was really good for what they were actually going for.
That's true. It was it's an interesting movie. But yeah, that was my only tiebreaker, which, you know, didn't even need to count because DJ absolutely won. Just, yeah, incredible.
Wow.
Used so many of the helpful words.
There's
First
been
of
some
all,
election interference here, I think.
well, you'll see. I think when I hear it, or when you hear it, you'll maybe remember some things DJ said. Former CIA spies, so neither we had CIA, but whatever. Okay. DJ had former. I think you may have Diggins as well. Doesn't matter. First of all, Emily and Matt, because she's the lead, are pulled back into espionage after their secret identities are exposed. Nice. So DJ got the after the secret identities, and DJ got pulled back as a phrase, which I think is helpful, especially because action back in action is the title of the movie. So like that was a good pull. And yeah, Diggins, yours wasn't bad necessarily, but yours mentioned the kids, which were not part of this and didn't get into the exposed identities. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to DJ. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's fine. I mean, listen, I can accept illegal results. It's fine.
Oh, okay, it's very good for decorum, Diggins. I appreciate the decorum. This is what we like to see. It's more important than anything else.
I just want my supporters on the Discord to know that you don't need to do a January 6th.
No, never.
It's fine.
Yeah,
we'll get them next
January
time.
6th is known for. Right? Like, did January 6th used to be like National Cake Day or something? And then they fucked it up.
I mean, every day is something that some company made up.
Yeah. So, like, this isn't, I don't know, really, really smart people that know all their history. Diggins was very specific. Do not invent the telegraph. On January 18th.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get the patent. It's already been invented. Don't bother.
Don't kill Teddy Roosevelt, who died in 1919 on January 6th. And don't premiere Wheel of Fortune, because that also happened in 1975, January 6th. So, big day. There was this other thing that happened. We'll skip it for now. But yeah, so DJ, as the winner, you get to tell us what you thought of Breaking Back in Action.
Back in action.
Yep. Go for it.
I don't know if you guys remember, but last year we did a little movie called The Union, and I
don't think I remember
thoroughly just lambasted on this podcast for my opinion of, hey, it wasn't terrible, and there were parts enjoyable, and you guys were like, that's insane. How could you? What an insane take. And I'm like, but guys, there's like so much other sewage, awful, unwatchable, just garbage out there. And the Union at least had a little Marky Mark charm and some little fun romancy thing, and there's something there. I will stand by the Union. I will stand by the Union. I will stand by Beekeeper. All these movies that are
stand by Beekeeper. We all liked Beekeeper, I think, or at least enjoyed it.
Beekeeper.
Yeah. Don't pretend the Beekeeper and Union got the same treatment. Absolutely not.
Fine. Well, I guess I'll have to stand by the Union, and because guys, we have this movie Back in Action, which is truly awful. This movie is bad. It's bad in so many ways. Like, we'll get into the plot, but like one of the very early scenes in the flashback where like Matt and Emily and Matt are deciding that
very important because she's the lead.
I don't know. I think that's woke.
When Emily and Matt are deciding their future, and like the camera goes to one person, it's like, I think we need to get out of the spy game, and then it shoots the other person. It's like, really, do you think we need to get out of the spy game? It goes back like, yes, we must get out of the spy game because story point is like, okay, I agree with story point A and story point B, and this will lead to story point C, and like that doesn't happen the whole movie, but it happens at least 4 times, like, and probably a dozen. This movie is so odd. It's such a fucking Netflix movie. It's like, we're gonna get stars. We didn't mention it, but like Glenn Close is in this fucking movie for not an inconsequential amount of time, right? Yep. It's not like a pop in and leave. Like, she's kind of in the movie.
Yeah, we can only hope not an inconsequential amount of money.
I would say it's safe to say she's the third lead if you don't count the kids. Like,
yeah, probably. Well, Kyle Chandler got the and she got the with. I forget like where that
The width, I think,
goes.
is better.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I understand why Kyle Chandler got the and.
I shocked he got
Really?
the and. I was.
That's our new Green Lantern, DJ. You give your respect to him. Classic Hal Jordan we all know and love.
He was in that Godzilla movie, DJ.
He was in that Godzilla movie.
True.
He was maybe in 2 of them. Who knows? No one can remember. Godzilla's in Fortnite now, you guys. That's what matters.
Yeah, he's hitting the gritty or whatever they do in Fortnite now.
Listen, it's fucking cool. You get to beat Godzilla and laser beam guys, or you get to fight Godzilla with lasers. It's a good game. I don't even feel stupid
like a
anymore.
Godzilla skin you can play, and to make it work, they gave him human proportions, and it looks horrible.
Oh yeah, no, that part is super weird. But
I assume playing Godzilla is better.
Playing Godzilla is super cool.
Anyway, all this is to say, it's they get the stars, they shove them in a movie, and it's like weirdly lit and poorly shot, and it doesn't make any sense, and the tropes are overplayed, and there's like nothing here. I can't believe I think Jamie Foxx is a pretty good actor. Like I like Jamie Foxx. He mails in such an unremarkable performance where like I know he's good at being like I'm the cool subdued Jamie Foxx, and then ramped up is like I'm Jamie Foxx, I'm fuck shit up. But like this Jamie Foxx is like I'm Jamie Foxx and I'm here and I'm cool sometimes, but other times I'm just letting everyone else like great ball court facilitator. It's like
very nice of him. Yeah,
I'm gonna get the ball, dribble it a few times, and then pass it. And that's what I'm going to do this whole game. Maybe I'll do a pump fake like I'm going to shoot. I'm never shooting this ball. I don't get if I get a 4th pass with 2 seconds left on the shot clock, I'm passing out the ball. It's crazy that he just like is present and doesn't do anything. It's Jamie Foxx. Cameron Diaz, to her credit, is doing an amount of acting, even if it's mom, but it's something. It's something. So
when you got Kyle Chandler in your movie, the LeBron of acting, you let him take the shots. Like, who do you think is better than him?
You're just there to support Kyle Chandler.
Yeah.
This whole movie is a vehicle for other actors to give Kyle Chandler space to do his thing.
So there's nothing here, and I want an apology because I would rather watch The Union 7 times in a row before I watch this shit once. Give The Union a chance.
Absolutely crazy that is the Netflix spy movie you've decided to. I mean, they both do take place in London for inexplicably. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, one of them has Mark Wahlberg and J.K. Simmons, and the other is Kyle Chandler. All right.
So this one's better.
Yeah, obviously. It also has Bashir Salahuddin, who I love, and some other guys that you may recognize from stuff, which we'll get to.
Okay.
But
well, first, Diggins has to tell us what he thought of this, in my opinion, dog shit movie.
Well, DJ is certainly correct that this movie's bad. He's insane that it's worse than The Union.
It's not insane.
The Union's also a bad movie. This movie is it's that kind of bad streaming movie where everything is just incredibly rote. And DJ's right, like the actors aren't trying. Like I never felt in any scene like anyone cared about anything that was happening. And I think that scene you described where they're like deciding to give up their lives and like go run off is maybe the worst offender because it's a humongous life decision that they're making together, and they're treating it with all the gravity of like, hey, you want to stop at the next corner, get a coffee or something?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a very it's a movie where it's obvious what's going to happen at every given moment. None of it is particularly clever or interesting. It doesn't trust the viewer because it's a Netflix movie. So all the executives were like behind everyone going like, you need to make sure you make everything incredibly obvious because people are going to be watching this movie while they do 17 other things.
Yep.
So like anytime there's like a Chekhov's gun, it's not just like, give me that lighter. And he takes the lighter. It's give me that lighter. We do a close up on the lighter as it passes into his hand, and then a second close up as he puts it in his pocket, just so you know that he's got that lighter, just in case you for a second thought it wasn't going to come up again.
It's movies.
A thing that happens multiple times, where a thing that gets used in a scene later is given so much attention that it couldn't be more obvious that it's going to come up. So yeah, it's the kind of movie that I don't like. It's one of these streaming movies that doesn't respect or trust its audience, and also isn't even that fun or interesting, and gets in that like middle ground of these spy movies where it doesn't want to be like crazy and wacky. In the way I would say even like a Beekeeper is, or The Beekeeper rather. Beekeeper has some like really wild stuff that happens in it. But this movie like has wild stuff that happens, but never wants to commit to any of it, and it always just becomes people doing punches.
Yeah.
And some of those fight scenes are really badly edited or shot or something, especially the last one. I legitimately couldn't tell what was going on or who was on which object.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Were they not all on the same object?
Eventually, I realized that yes, they were, but I didn't think that at first because it was edited so badly.
That's surprising. Netflix should have like an object little thingy at the bottom so you can jump up from your TikTok and go, how many objects are in play right now? One. And then you kind of, understand. And it's really helpful.
So yeah, I'm sorry to Cameron Diaz that this was her return to acting.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
No.
No, nothing against her. Obviously, we all love the Shrek movies.
And The Mask. You love The Mask.
Love The Mask.
And there's something about Mary.
Those Charlie's Angels movies she's in are pretty fun.
You know?
What else is she good in? Bad Teacher. We all love Bad Teacher.
We all love Bad Teacher.
We all loved Bad Teacher.
I remember Bad Teacher being kind of a hit. I never saw it, but
me neither.
I think people liked it.
My point is, not a great showcase for her talents, this movie. It also, I think, and maybe I'll talk about this during the summary, but I feel like it's pitched very specifically at like 50 to 60-year-old parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Parents with teens too. Like 100%.
Oh, no.
Are there any other kind?
This is pitched to parents of like older children. This is pitched to parents who with adult children.
How do you figure?
Oh.
I'll talk about it when we get to one of my things.
Okay. All right. Well, I wait in anticipation.
Wow.
But yeah, that's my feelings on the movie. It's bad. I didn't like it. You shouldn't watch it. What about you, Nando?
I liked it. I thought it was fine. Yeah, I had a good time with it. I know. I didn't love it. I liked him as a union for sure.
Well, we get to make fun of you. If this is the union, then
not my favorite.
No.
I would say it's definitely my favorite of the direct-to-streaming spy movies.
More than The Gray Man?
Yeah, I didn't like Gray Man at all. I think
Argyle
is the high bar for me, and mostly just because Argyle was like kind of funky in little bits and has things that are memorable. But I think, and maybe it's just me, I think Jamie Foxx is funny in this, and I'm like, I don't think it was a great performance. Like, it wasn't whatever his name is in those Horrible Bosses movies, which is directed by this guy too, which is why maybe part of the connection. But like in the Horrible Bosses movie, he plays a character, I think his name Crazy Eyes something, and like, a super wild hitman. Whereas in this, he's very, very chill. But I thought he was kind of funny, and I didn't dislike Cameron Diaz. I thought she was also kind of funny. I didn't think it was good, to be fair. Okay, I didn't think it was great, but I think it was above average for these, and enough so that I was like, it worked. So maybe not good. Maybe calling it good is a little bit of a like.
He's backpedaling.
Hold on. No. I did like it. Calling it good would be a stretch, but calling it good for a direct-to-streaming spy movie, I don't think is a stretch, because I think it is an entertaining enough one. I don't know. I thought like I didn't think the action was anything crazy or anything really exciting. I thought that one fight scene in like the fucking neon room was okay. It wasn't like, it's not one of those movies where like they're action stars. Like they are a little bit, but like it's not like a John Wick where you're like, oh man, they really had Cameron Diaz do all the flips. And it's also not like a, it's not like Iron Man or Shang-Chi or something where you're like, oh wow, they probably didn't have him ride a real dragon. It's all that stuff where it's like real stuff being performed by clearly other people. And then, the character jumps up and then it's Cameron Diaz again. But, I thought that was okay. I do think there was parts of it. You know what it was? I think this movie was losing me. And then fucking what's his name showed up. Jamie Demetria or whatever his name is showed up, and he won the whole movie back for me because he was crushing it. I didn't even dislike, and I think she's terrible in some recent movies, like god awful in that fucking God, what is it? That horror movie that came out recently where she plays a southern woman talk like this. But fucking Glenn Close, I kind of liked in this too. I thought she was kind of funny. I don't know. I expected to dislike this a lot more. I didn't really like the trailer. I also, and this is a tough one. Like, I think the kids were okay. I didn't love or hate the kids, but I think in this movie, the kids, they played very low, like low energy, not like low energy, I guess, but they weren't like freaking out and crying as they were getting shot at. Like you'd expect this would happen in real life, but they also weren't like doing nothing. They were just like, it was this weird, I don't know, like weird, almost like, what's the way to describe it? Like, it's like, just like this new fake reality of like, what would happen if you found out you were in a Netflix spy movie where you'd be like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm like, are we hacking or what's going on here? That's interesting. I wish I was at soccer practice. And I found that kind of interesting. I also thought Kyle Chandler was weird, but fine. And the other character that's in the movie also showed up and also, I'm sure, got paid. That part was the part that I hated, but only because it felt like I don't know what the fuck was going on with him. I didn't think he was doing a bad job, but I was just really concerned.
Well, it's one of those dumb roles where it's like he has to say all of his lines really ambiguously, so you think he might be the bad guy until the end when it's revealed that he's not.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like in movies like this, they usually, in the good version of this movie, when they do that, they would give him something else to do. But instead, the movie just kind of forgets about him. It's weird. But yeah, overall, I didn't hate this one. I think I had a good time with it. I think Cameron Diaz is a good actor. And I think Jamie Foxx is funny. This isn't his best performance ever. It definitely isn't her best performance ever. But I can't say I didn't, have at least some fun with it.
I think we're allowed to make fun of you for this one.
That's fine.
You're welcome to. Bad it is.
I think I know what's happening, DJ.
Okay.
The toxoplasmosis has gotten to Nando's brain, and it's forcing him to like the movies that the cats watch, so that it's on all the time for the cats to watch.
Oh, I see.
I thought you were going to say it's forcing me to love movies that star Glenn Close, notorious hater of puppies, from those 101 Dalmatian movies, and I'm on her side
true.
100% of the way.
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Matt, that's all I got. I hope they don't make any more of them. But
the end of the movie we'll talk about.
The big sequel tease.
Yeah.
But before we talk about the end of the movie, I think we're going to have to talk about the beginning of the movie and the whole movie, because this is The Loser, by, what you may consider a thievery or some sort of crime, some sort of,
fraud,
highway robbery. Yeah. You have to, give us the summary for this movie.
So last week, we had, the Ancient Disc sort of come on and, do a guest turn here on the podcast. Now we got a mixed response, I would say. So I brought on actually a new guest for us this week to sort of help us out with the summary.
Wow.
And I would decide to go in a different direction. DJ, you brought in the Ancient Disc, who is sort of a similar shape to the wheel. I decided to go with a different simple machine. So I'd like to introduce you guys to the lever.
The lever.
That's cool.
Love the lever.
And we just pull the lever. That's pretty good. I like how straightforward it is.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, when you guys, have something you need to say, just pull on the lever. And you get to say your little thing.
That's great.
But with that established, I'll just get started on the summary. All right.
All right.
And
what movie is this again? What's it called? Back in action. There we go. All right.
Starring Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz.
That's right.
All right. So at the start, Joey shows up at the airport and he's getting into a taxi because his sister didn't show up to pick him up. So he's like telling the taxi guy that. But then it turns out, he got off at his layover in Dallas.
Yeah,
he's not in LA at all. So he's got to go back to the airport. And then we get the theme song.
Yeah.
And then he actually meets Drea DiMatteo in the actual LAX.
And what are the main jokes about her about Diggins? She's
got
what they
big fake boobs.
Big old boobies. Yep. She is his sister and she has big boobs, and it is implied, and I think, confirmed later, that he felt her up in the car.
Now, to be fair, Nando, she made him do it because she wanted him to feel her cool new boobs.
Mm-hmm. No, it's an interesting, whatever they are, New Jersey Italian family living in Los Angeles
New York
or
Italian,
something.
they're from
Or New
Queens.
York Italian, right? Yeah. But yeah, she's there. What other main characters do we meet pretty early on?
I think fairly early we meet her son, Michael.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, he's like a big old nerd. He's like one of them Big Bang Theory boys.
Is he from the Big Bang Theory? I think
he also is on the Big Bang Theory. Not as a main character, I don't think, but he.
Oh yeah, now I recognize the face, I think.
Mm-hmm. And we also meet his neighbor Alexis, who's a corporate lawyer.
Oh my god! And do you know, DJ? I'm gonna spin the wheel, or excuse me,
no,
I would never do that. I would never do that. I'm gonna pull the lever, tick 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 tick. That's the sound of pulling it back, and then flung. That's the sound that it makes when it goes. DJ, do you know the main lesson we learned from Swordfish? Well, it's back, baby.
Wait, if we take on all the terrorists, they won't hurt America?
No. Even more important to Swordfish than that.
Oh, hackers are cool?
Even more important than that. Who's not cool?
Who's not cool in Swordfish?
One group of people, one profession specifically.
Oh, God. Oh, no. This is escaping my brain.
Who's the one person who dies in Swordfish and we're like, cool, good. They deserved it for what they did.
Oh my God. Yeah. The hookers, they're so bad.
Well, I mean that
porn.
Yeah, I'm sure Swordfish doesn't have a very positive view of any sex workers, but yeah, porn stars specifically, they were a problem in LA. And Joey's neighbor has a similar issue.
With a similar solution, we can only assume.
Yes, I think so. And yeah, and she's gonna have sex with Joey, right, Dickens? That's all I can only assume based on this interaction.
Well, now hold on, Nando. We got a whole seasons of Joey to go through before we can start answering that question.
That's true. DJ, what was your favorite part of the first episode of Joey?
I think when he just walks into the stage for his new acting set, and he goes, "Hey everyone, it's me, Joey."
On the stage, you say? Interesting.
Well, or set, I guess.
You mean like sound stage, right? I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, sound stage. Yeah.
More or less.
He just goes to the in-studio audience. "Hey, it's me, Joey."
Which of the two shows he was offered do you think he should have taken?
I mean, definitely the courtroom procedural. Right? Like that would have been.
You know what, DJ? Honestly, based on what they are, not a bad guess.
Yeah. And also, that's kind of, his agent also kind of made the wrong call. So you're just right up there with his famous agent who, did you know she was in this, Diggins?
I don't think I did, but also I don't think I knew who she was when this show aired.
Yeah, me neither. Well,
and DJ,
no, because this would have been classic around the time that movie she's in is famous.
I guess
that series of movies. Oh, you gotta watch. It's pretty weird.
No, DJ, of course, you know what actress we're talking about because you also watched the first episode of Joey.
Yeah, she
obviously
plays Joey's agent.
Right.
And she is nothing like any agent I've ever seen in a show like this before.
Yeah,
like
I can't.
So different from the Ari Gold, Ari Emanuel type.
Well, when you get Jessica Biel, you're gonna get a Jessica Biel performance. So
you know what? From saying she was big around the time, I can see how you got there, but I definitely would have known who Jessica Biel was.
Yeah, she's probably too busy filming that Blade movie around this time.
Oh yeah,
because she was probably like their first choice, but they couldn't get her, so they ended up with this similar actor instead, who I think also auditioned for the same role as her on Seventh Heaven, but didn't get it because she was busy. Yeah, in the American Pie movies, and I think it would have been an interesting Seventh Heaven, but probably about as coherent.
Instead of Jessica Biel, it had DJ.
Yeah, everyone's favorite actress. Very popular these days. Very, very popular these days for some reason.
Very popular these days. And, from watching her back then, you can tell, like, she didn't always do the voice thing.
Yeah.
Demi Moore.
No, be closer. No, of course we're talking
Kate
about...
Winslet.
Nah, think a little bit more like someone who might actually be a cast member on Joey. Kate Winslet following up Titanic with a bit part on Joey, actually. Like, she's in the credits, but she's not like,
she's like maybe like the bottom tier person in the credits.
Drew Barrymore.
Again, DJ, you got to think less famous.
Yeah,
less
famous.
Then I don't know them.
Exactly.
Right? That's the problem.
That's the Joey conundrum, as they say. Who is famous enough to be famous on Joey, but not famous enough to actually have been on Joey? And of course, the answer is an actress who almost has the words Joey in her name, but doesn't, because I don't think she has a Y. Jennifer Coolidge, playing
Jennifer
his
Coolidge.
Agent. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
God.
Yeah, DJ, I can't remember if we talked about this. Have you seen the American Pie movies?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she was she's the original MILF back in the day. Like, that's where the word comes from, is that movie where the characters call her that. So, yeah, that's, but yeah, she's his agent for some reason. And I don't know how much she plays into later seasons, like if she gets replaced or something, but. Yeah.
And you said she didn't do the voice.
Yeah, she's kind of not there yet. She has like a voice, but it's probably what she really sounds like now, or like before.
You can tell it's getting there, but yeah, she's clearly not like doing the full Jennifer Coolidge.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Good for her, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this is probably good money. 40 episodes or whatever we decided this was, like something crazy. And
yeah, it was 2 seasons, and it was regular network seasons from 2004. So yeah, 40 something episodes.
Yeah. That is good money.
Absolutely. And this was kind of big. Like, they advertised the shit out of this.
Well, it was right after Friends, so it was supposed to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be.
And it was.
That's right. And that's why that's why we're doing it for this entire year.
That's
one episode at a time. Joey.
I can't wait. I can't wait to know about it next time too. That's going to be
trying to remember
even
what
better.
else happens in this episode, Diggins.
DJ, we talked about Joey so much last week. You have no one to blame but yourself.
That's fair.
But yeah, after he meets Alexis, so he goes to first day of work on Cops, the cop show he's doing. Not Cops, the show called Cops.
No.
I'm not sure they ever named the show. The other one is just Nurses, I think.
I think the cop show has a name like Justice Police or something stupid. Like, I don't remember what it is, but it's like pretty, I think it's silly.
Yeah, but it's like a cable TV show where he's really like a loose cannon, and he beats people up and there's blood everywhere. And it's like, whoa. Yeah. And he's all like, this is going to be huge, except it turns out it's canceled right away. And the show he turned down, Nurses, is a huge smash hit.
That's right.
That feels like that's such a Joey fucking plot line. God damn. Oh, man. They crushed that.
So he's kicking himself, and his agent's like, you're never going to get anything better than Nurses. You really screwed up, Joey.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because like he's a man, right? And we're in the time of like the male nurse being like a thing people would talk about. So that was kind of the vibe, was like, oh, I don't want to play a nurse on TV. That's not a manly job. And look at where we are now, you know?
Mm-hmm. It was like a joke they would tell on Friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a very Friends joke.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, she does get him an audition to be on like a talk show, like The Soup or something.
Oh yeah, like an E. Yeah. Forgot about that.
So he goes to that audition, but he screws it up.
That guy's somebody, right? As like producer guy. That's like an actor I recognize from stuff, but I don't remember who that was.
I don't remember. And all this time, Joey's nephew, Michael, is trying to convince him to let him move in with him. He wants to move in with Joey because he's going to college. He still lives with his mom, and he's like, I got to be more independent. I don't want to live with my mom anymore. But
yeah, she's making me feel her up too much, I guess, or something, which is not good. Yeah.
And at first, Joey's like, no way, because she'll be really mad at me if I do that, and she can be really mean. But then the son makes some spaghetti.
Yeah, that classic Tribbiani recipe.
Yeah, Grandma Tribbiani spaghetti and meatballs. And Joey has some, and he's like, you're in. This spaghetti is so good.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes to the audition. He screws it up because he can't follow the light because it's a multicam. You know, like those talk shows always do where it's like, or like entertainment news show, I guess is more accurate. Where it's like 3 cameras and they're constantly like switching which one they look at. And he can't follow the light on the camera because he's not very smart.
He is not. Even though he was on like General Hospital or whatever he used to be on.
He was on Days of Our Lives.
Was it? Yeah, right.
As Dr. Drake Ramore.
That's right. That I remember. Fell down an elevator shaft. And that comes up a little bit in this, right? Because
he's wearing his Days of Our Lives shirt when he meets Alexis.
Right, yeah. He thinks she recognized him.
He really wouldn't know how to use like a multi-light camera. Like that feels so unlikely.
Did you ever watch Friends?
Lever pull.
You ever watch Friends, DJ?
I
get that Joey's an idiot. But...
rock stupid. Like this guy... it may be one of the dumbest characters ever on television. How dumb this guy was.
Well, I'm trying to think of a dumber one now.
I mean, like, it would be hard to make one because on a show that's not like a sitcom, the character would be dead by, episode 2 or 3 or something.
I was like, dumbest character who is supposed to be a functional adult human.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm trying to think of like the dumbest thing Joey ever did.
No one on Seinfeld.
No, there were dumb guys on Seinfeld, but nobody like Kramer was like kooky or something.
Yeah, the guys on Seinfeld weren't like dumb necessarily. They were mean or crazy.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Or selfish.
Even like Putty, who I would say is maybe the closest thing you get in Seinfeld, was like kind of like who Putty, the one who does the Devil's Game. Yeah, he was like kind of slow to speak, and you were like, "What's he thinking?" But he was always like kind of together. I mean, he's a mechanic. Joey could not put together a car in his life. Like, also, I looked it up. I think the show is called Blue Wall or something. Is the name of the cop show Joey is on?
Sure, why not?
It's very generic. But yeah, also DJ, this has not been. You can't really describe this in your Joey, just from hearing it. His apartment is incredible.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
It is even more like unbelievable considering he is an out of work actor. But I guess he's Joey.
It's like 2 stories tall. It's massive. Yeah. It's got this big gorgeous room, kitchen,
fireplace,
big kitchen, fireplace. It's immaculate.
Yeah,
that's good for him, man.
Yeah. It's Joey.
You don't want to be a starving artist.
Things work out for Joey.
Yeah. And then, so he goes home. He's all upset that he didn't get anything. But his sister finds out that Michael's supposed to move in with them. And she's all mad. She's like, that's not happening. And she holds Joey's ear and makes him say that he's gay for... Who is he gay for?
I don't remember. I kind of remember that this happened, but... Who was it? No, now I'm getting it. Is it Brad Pitt or something?
No.
I think it's
not that well known. It was someone from like an old show or something.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, but Joey gives a big speech where he's like, change is scary, but sometimes you gotta deal with it. I used to be on the hit show Friends. And now I'm by myself on the hit show Joey. And that was scary, but here we are.
Mm-hmm.
And his sister's like, damn, I guess you're right. You can live with your uncle.
Wow,
so now
what a great turn of events.
They're going to live together. And then he sees Alexis as she's on her way out. And he's like, hey, Alexis, do you want to hang out? And she's like, no, I've got to go get my husband.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Oh, things just aren't going so hot for our old Joey, is it?
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, he had a really easy life in New York. I don't remember like how many like women he dated, because I know he like had a thing with Rachel in the beginning, and then I think Janice
at the end.
Or at the end, okay, yeah. So that was like something.
Joey never dated Janice. Janice was Chandler and one-time Ross.
Oh, okay. I guess she just seemed like a Joey. But like, then who did Joey date? Did he have women?
Joey never really had like long-term girlfriends. He just had like an episode he was with the one woman and then she didn't show up again.
Yeah, okay. Good for him. He's his own guy, you know? He's
And they did have a plot line with Joey and Rachel for a while towards the end, but then everybody hated it, including everyone working on the show, so they just stopped doing it.
Oh, really? That's tough. They should have done what they did on Seinfeld. They just killed Joey when they
that would have been cool.
When they had what's her name and they were like, yeah, we don't really like working with her. They just killed her.
Is that why that happened?
Yeah. And it's not that they didn't like working with her. Like, she wasn't bad, but they were just like, you don't have like good chemistry with the actress playing Susan, George's wife. So then they just killed her with the wedding things. And then everybody went, huh? And then they went back to being 4 people. So yeah, I've seen interviews about it, because what's his name doesn't talk. Jerry doesn't talk about it as much, I think, but like George talks about it pretty openly. And yeah, everybody on that show seems pretty normal. I mean, obviously Jerry Seinfeld's got his weirdness, but like when it comes to having worked together, they all seemed, and obviously Kramer's got his weirdness, but like, yeah, when they were working together, they all got along pretty well.
Now I think you'd call it his normalness.
That's true.
Yeah. Now that we live in a society where we're not all full of DEI and woke.
Yeah, can we check on him as a Hollywood ambassador?
Oh, man.
He might be one of them.
That's true.
Yeah, what's going on with Kramer? I mean, you know, all the Seinfeld guys just kind of, except for Elaine, she's crushing it. But none of them do too much stuff. I feel like I saw Jason Alexander in something recently, and it kind of blew my mind.
He does stuff from time to time.
Yeah. And he was on Broadway for a little bit, I think, too, but I can't remember where. Yeah. It's interesting.
Anyway, that was the first episode of Joey.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay.
All right.
Wow. So we're going to get to our classic segment?
Yeah, you guys ready for Rex and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I sure am.
I'll admit also, that bit went on way longer than I thought I would. But we just kept committing.
Yeah, I watched the whole episode too, and I wanted to use that
Where
knowledge.
Did you find it? Because now I want to like
the place Nando said last week.
I googled Watch Joey, but also I'm putting it in the chat, but the Internet Archive has it up because it's hard to find otherwise. So I think they're just
it's not on Max, of course.
I don't know if it is,
Shame.
but I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I checked. It's not.
It's a bummer.
This is good. They got the whole. This went for 2 years.
Yeah, we said. DJ, we said that tonight.
Well, no, you said there were like 47 episodes or whatever.
I said there were 2 seasons of about 20-something episodes because it was a network TV show.
Right, man. Holy shit, good for them.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's good. You know, that's what we used to have. And now we have this instead, where they make one streaming movie. Nobody knows how much money it made. Nobody gets any residuals. And then they just make another one, you know? And
well, speaking of that, streaming movies. Okay. So back in action. All right. Grease up the lever because now we're actually getting into it.
All right. Let's go. This lever's ready to go.
All right. So we zoom in and it says 15 years ago. So we know that this part's in the past. Is there any visual distinction between this and the present? Even a little bit? No.
I think Kyle Chandler's hair looks a little different, but besides that, yeah, exactly the same. And they play that Lauryn Hill song from 10 years before this scene would have taken place, which we were still listening to, but doesn't really help.
And Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz look the same that they're going to look when we get 15 years ahead.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, they both look great considering, like...
I mean, yeah, but like in this scene, they're supposed to, assuming they're the ages there are now, they're supposed to be in like their early 40s in this scene. And I think for Cameron Diaz, it might even be late 30s.
Yeah.
Like, they should look different.
They should look different.
Yes, they should look different. Yeah.
But anyway, they're going off to do spy stuff because they're spies. Although Cameron Diaz briefly looks at a pregnancy test and you're like, uh-oh.
It would be like that.
But they're going off to the mansion for like a kid's birthday party for this like Belarusian terrorist.
Yeah.
Because they've got to steal something he's got. So they walk around at the party.
What is that something, Diggins?
Well, that's the ICS key, DJ. A magic key that lets you control all power grids in the world.
Yeah, put a pin in that.
That's pretty good.
Why does that exist? How could that even exist, considering power grids are not a unified system? I don't know, but it does. So they're walking around at this party talking out loud at full volume into their microphones, and nobody notices or cares. And they get the like voice print and fingerprint from the Belarusian terrorist by saying hi to him and shaking his hand. And they use that to go upstairs into his little secret room and steal the ICS key from his secret safe. But the alarm goes off, so they've got to get away. And I think it's time for the first lever pull. Hey, what if we took a fight scene and set it to music?
Whoa, get out of here. You crazy.
I like music. I like fight scenes.
Guy.
You like those Guardians of the Galaxies, right, kids? Those are pretty cool.
Hey, kids, you like, well, not kids, honestly. Hey.
Yeah.
Gen X cusp / late boomer parents. You like American standards, right? Your classic crooners, Frank Sinatra, etc., that kind of thing. You like that stuff, right? Well, what if people were punching people while that song played?
Yeah.
Pretty good, right?
Pretty good. It's not boring anymore.
No. It would have been boring if we weren't playing the song, but we are playing the song, and that means it's fun.
Yeah.
In fact, you know what? We know you like this so much, we're going to do it like 6 more times over the course of this movie.
Yeah. That part's not great. Fight scenes aren't very good.
So much.
They only don't do it at the end. I feel like it's every time, but end of the movie's too serious, But every other time.
They should have did it to a serious song like Ave Maria or something.
And then they could have done it in slow motion too. Wouldn't that have been so cool?
That would have been rough though, because then we could look at the stunt doubles and go, wait a second. We got to keep them on screen for as short a time as possible.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I just wanted to point out that is a thing they do a million times in this movie, and it's as uninspiring the first time as it is every other time.
Damn right.
All right, so they beat a bunch of people up and they get out, and it's like, hooray. Also, at some point, Kyle Chandler, who's their handler, their Kyle Chandler, if you will.
Yeah, very good.
Good job.
And much like Chandler, Joey's best friend on Friends.
That's right. His roommate.
The connections don't stop.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys are holding hands. You're sleeping together. Because I guess they weren't together until this mission, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not important, but it does happen.
And I mean, that's probably what you would do, right? Like, do you think if you were Kyle Chandler's guy and you had 2 spies that were working together and they were both the same age, single, and both, marginally, like they were attractive, and you would assume, above average attractiveness, you figured they're fucking, right? Like, I don't know.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Out of boredom, if nothing else.
Exactly. Especially because we learned that she was fucking, what's his name too, or something, or they had some relationship. So it seems like later, that's just cool.
Later she clarifies that they went on one date and she didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. Which, how could you not? Because he's so charming in this movie.
In this movie, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of that guy, so yeah, they make it to an airport where they get met by Andrew Scott.
Yeah.
In this movie, he's playing an MI6 agent named Baron.
How dare they name this character anything, considering, as far as I'm concerned, he's just some fucking guy.
Yeah, it should just be some fucking guy.
Some guy shows up.
He's just a hot MI6 agent.
Yeah. And what's his vibe, Diggins?
His vibe is a weird man who can't let go of the woman he went on one date with forever ago.
Yeah.
He's just a weird, desperate creep.
And in the beginning of the movie, you're like, Jamie Foxx, relax. He's just flirting with your wife a little bit, but like they were ex-boyfriend or something. But then when you find out that they didn't really have any relationship, you're like, yeah, you would really want to keep this guy as far away from everybody you know as possible, because he's a weirdo.
You think he's doing the like weird macho like jealousy thing, and then it turns out this guy's super weird, and you're like, actually, yeah, I wouldn't want him around my girlfriend either.
Absolutely. Or any loved ones, really.
Yeah.
But they're not telling him about the key because Kyle Chandler, don't tell anyone about the key because it's a top secret. That's
right.
But he's arranged a plane for them so they can get back to America and give the key to the CIA, who they work for. So they're on the plane and they're celebrating and they're going to drink, but Cameron Diaz doesn't want to drink. What? And she tells Jamie Foxx that she's pregnant. So what was the point of the tease earlier when there's no point where it's really a secret?
Yeah, that's a good question. And it's not even like funny where like she's not fighting the same way she would fight if she wasn't pregnant, you know, like
she's totally good.
There's one point where she protects her stomach and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, but that's after this. So not even that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You'd want one thing where Jamie Foxx is like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You're not doing backflips like you did yesterday or whatever. And I don't know what it would be. And then you'd see like their main moves would be like Jamie Foxx doing belly flops into guys' faces and stuff. And he'd be like, do one of the belly flops with me. And she'd be like, I'm waiting on it.
It's our signature move.
We probably only need one belly flop today.
Why didn't you do that move where you let the guy punch you full strength into the stomach to lure him in so you can knee him in the crotch?
Yeah, the Houdini. We call that the Houdini in this house. Remember Harry Houdini? You know that? Yeah. You ever heard that story, DJ?
Yeah. What about
how he died? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know this one. Okay.
So Harry Houdini, I can't remember where I heard this. I mean, I've heard this in a couple of places, but I heard this recently. I think it was Dua Lipa's Day Drinking with Seth Meyers. They talked about this a little bit, but yeah, because she has a song called Houdini and whatever. Anyway, they those videos are great. I love watching them. But anyway, Houdini used to do like magic tricks and shit, and also he would be like, punch me in the stomach as part of his bit and on stage and be like, I'm cool with it. It's like, look at this magic trick of me not getting hurt by the punch. And one time one guy punched him real good and then he died a couple days later.
No.
Yeah. So,
due to like abdominal problems.
Yeah.
That's so unfortunate. He's like one of our only great Hungarians. It's him and the guy in The Brutalist. I think that's all we got.
Yeah, that's the only we've got.
Yeah.
It's not like medically clear if that did directly cause his death, but all of that did happen.
Man, that's wow. I learned something. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway,
yeah. So she tells him she's pregnant, and she's like, I don't know what we're going to do. And because it's a movie that's trying to appeal to, all quadrants, nobody mentions the possibility of abortion.
Yep.
But Jamie Foxx is like, I'm all in. And he's like, hey, can you quickly tell the audience your deal? And she's like, I grew up with a bad family, so I don't want that for my kid. And he's like, all right, now I'll tell them my deal. I didn't grow up with a family, so I want to be there for that kid also.
I'm a nameless, faceless man with no background whatsoever. No one knows who I am or what my deal is.
Don't worry, none of my family members are going to show up in this movie. So they decide that they're gonna do it. They're gonna stay together. They're gonna raise the kid. Very sweet. But then they realize she goes to have morning sickness, but the bathroom is locked. And they both realize, something's wrong. And it turns out the whole crew are terrorists who are trying to steal the ICS key.
Real shame.
Yeah. It's that scene from the beginning of the Spider-Man. Which one was the Spider-Man? Amazing Spider-Man 2 or something?
Amazing
where
Spider-Man
it turns
2,
out the pilot is a spy and all that
his
shit.
spy parents. Yeah, that's it. So we have another fight scene set to an American standard.
Love it.
Yeah.
This is the one where she protects her stomach. So yeah, not even that joke for like us knowing that she's pregnant before Jamie Foxx does. Eventually they accidentally get the pilot shot, so the plane is crashing and like breaks apart. They like kick the last dude out of the plane with the ICS key box. Why did I say box? Probably not important.
Yeah.
And then they jump out of the plane with a parachute. Well, she's wearing a parachute, and then she wraps her legs around his torso.
Thunder thighs!
And he holds on tight, and they both get to do the parachute and don't die.
Yep.
Hooray. And then when they're walking away from the explosion, they're like, well, this sucked. Somebody must have sold this out. And
Hold on.
Jamie...
Real quick, I don't think we've made clear how insane this plane explosion falling thing is. Like,
it's probably a lever crack.
Yeah.
So the wings are no longer on the plane, and it's just a fuselage like sliding down a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're like they crash in some mountains, so it's like sliding down a mountain, causing an avalanche behind it. A whole thing.
It looks terrible. It looks so terrible. And then they jump out and like the fuselage just like plummets to the ground and like there's a big explosion. Killing everyone. No one's on board, but
they carefully knocked out everyone instead of killing them, but now they're all dead anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely all died in that explosion. But it's okay.
Yeah, they were bad.
They're bad guys, so it doesn't matter. We're not going to directly kill them on screen, but if they die, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So they're walking back, and Jamie Foxx is like, somebody sold us out, and we should retire from the spy game because we're going to have a kid, and it's too dangerous. And she's like, oh, you mean we should go back to the CIA, report on this, and then tell them we'd like to retire, and they can put us in the protection program that definitely exists for situations like this? And he's like, you'd think so, but no. I think we should fake our deaths right now using this accident and just go live off the grid for the rest of our lives for no reason. And she's like, that sounds great. And the level of emotional intensity I'm giving it is pretty much the level of emotional intensity they give it. Like they're discussing like the grocery list. They're like, I guess we do need to fake our deaths. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to be a mom because my mom was a piece of shit.
Yep.
That's right.
With my character development.
Also, they're in the fucking, I don't know, Alpine. Where do they even crash? Do we know? In the middle of nowhere?
They were in France, I think.
Oh, okay.
So I'm guessing the Alps.
The Alps.
Yeah, it feels Alpsy.
So they're just gonna walk home from the Alps.
Yeah, we have no idea. They have a dead parachute.
Yep.
That's it.
Just walk home from the Alps with no identification that we can use because we're trying to fake our deaths.
Yep. No like gloves or a coat, barely. They're just wearing their clothes from earlier. He's
Which
still
is
got
like
his
a tux.
suit unbuttoned. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's playing it real casual. Good for them.
Yeah, so anyway, then we skip to 15 years later, and once again, it doesn't look any different, including in the ways that Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx look.
Mm-hmm.
They look exactly the same. It's crazy.
Exactly the same.
I guess I'll pull the lever here. Like they look exactly the same, but they take pains because we'll see him in a couple of scenes. They take like effort to age up Kyle Chandler. Like
they gave him a different haircut.
Yeah,
that's all you have to do.
Grade him up. Like he's older, so I can't figure out like what they're vampires or whatever. Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz, just that's great.
Must be it. That's how they can fake their deaths.
Yeah,
and then they just flew across the Atlantic because they're vampires.
Ooh. Oh, that makes sense. Well, how they cross water?
That's a good question.
Cross water.
Well, that's not always a vampire weakness. Maybe in the Back in Action universe, that's not a thing for vampires. They're allowed to cross running water.
Do you think this universe connects with the Day Shift universe that Jamie Foxx would also be in Netflix, where he hunts vampires, or like is that his secret twin brother that we'll find out about in the next movie? No, we never did Day Shift.
Maybe that'll be his family. Like he has a twin brother who hunts vampires, and that'll be the conflict of one of these movies.
Yeah, might as well. Why not? Fuck it, make them the same. Just
like the Princess Switch. Anyway,
yeah.
Just keep hitting more Jamie Foxxes every movie. So yeah, they're 15 years later. They're suburban parents. They do lame stuff like coach soccer games and.
Hey! Come on now, it's not lame. It's really cool and honorable or whatever.
You don't even do that.
Yeah, but like, I imagine I could.
Right,
I don't think it's off the table.
Maybe. Would you? What little league sport would you prefer to coach?
Ooh,
what one is
really
the best
question.
One?
I think it's baseball because it's no like active coaching. No, it's like a lot of like during like the practices, like what to do, but you just like set the lineups. Yeah, parents gonna yell at you. Why isn't my kid started third?
Yeah.
But like that's every sport.
I think
or like bowling. I feel like bowling would be like a really good one.
Oh
like,
low
stakes,
no that barely even
bowling
counts.
Okay, well, all right. If I have to do one counts, like
no. I'm saying it's a great choice.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I think there's something to that. I feel like there's a sport I'm forgetting. I think soccer would be fun because you could just like have one kid that's good and he wins and everybody likes it. Like you don't.
Right.
I feel like with baseball, you got to know what everybody can do and you have to put positions and shit and lineups. But with soccer, it's just like give the ball to Tommy and let him do his thing. And we'll see what happens.
There's some heuristics with like setting little league lineups. I imagine that it's like, all right, the bad kids go in the outfield. You're not, and I'm talking like little league, right? Not like when they're at, we're going like the 5 to 7 range, right? No one's hitting dingers, so it's a lot of kind of judge it, scoop and throw, right? Figure out someone who could reasonably throw, best player at shortstop, and then first base, as we know from Moneyball, you just kind of stand there, right?
Yeah.
Chris Pratt kind of figured it out. So
that can be where the coach's son goes. So he thinks he's doing something important, but in reality,
first
he's just
base
real
good for Jackson's going to first.
Absolutely.
I don't care how good or bad he is. Well, if he's good, he's going to short or third. But if he's not, he's going to first.
Wow, you're letting your son go to third?
Wow.
Hey.
Are you in the Joey verse right now or something? Talk of certain things.
Oh man.
Yeah, Joey, man, pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good show. Can't wait to watch episode 2. So yeah, they're cool suburban parents. Their kids are like, oh, mom and dad, why are you so lame? Well, their daughter is. Their son is just kind of like playing video games.
Yeah.
Big old nerd.
The daughter's the older one. She's the one that Cameron Diaz was pregnant with in that other scene.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they take him to school and they're like, be cool. And the kids are like, meh. And then they very conspicuously put Diet Coke and Mentos in the car.
Oh my God.
That'll show up.
I'll wait. Because I'll wait for the fucking Chekhov's gun.
And when they drop the kids off, they see the daughter's got a and they're like, whoa. Yeah. And they've got like spy binoculars that Cameron Diaz bought on Amazon. Isn't that such a funny joke, guys? She bought them on Amazon.
Yeah, what a quirky thing that suburban moms do.
Anyway, they go back home and they're like, Cameron Diaz is like, I wish my daughter loved me more. Maybe we should do movie night. And Jamie Foxx is like, no, she's a teenager. She just hates us now.
Very accepting of that fact.
I do think that's just kind of something as a parent, you kind of have to accept that when your kids are teens, they're not going to like you very much.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's maybe they'll learn that lesson over the course of the movie.
Will they learn the lesson or will someone else learn a lesson?
Someone will learn the lesson.
Oh,
yeah. I will say, I did like the binoculars joke. I thought the binoculars joke was funny, only because she has binoculars and then she has them, pulls them out of the console. Where'd you get those? Amazon. And then Jamie Foxx takes them, and then she pulls out a different but similar pair of binoculars. And he's like, "Where'd you get those?" And she's like, "Amazon." And he makes a face like, "Oh God, she's fucking. We're gonna be broke. All this shit she's buying on Amazon." I'm like, I gotta start checking the credit card statements. Yeah,
the physical setup to that, because they do just cut back and she's got them out already. I did think that was a good setup.
There was some humor in this movie, especially just the two of them mostly, and then another character from later that kind of like worked for me.
Every scene is humor, Nando. Come on.
Every scene is so overwritten though, and goes on for like much longer than it needs to.
Mm-hmm. And like this is the moment where you're kind of like, oh, they're spies. The spy, like instincts have seeped into the parenting instincts and stuff. Like that is a premise for a movie. The rest of it's just going to kind of. Yeah, no, the rest of it's just them snooping like regular parents, but like that part was fun.
So they're like sitting at home. The daughter has gone to study at her friend's house. An obvious lie.
Yep.
I don't know why Cameron Diaz acts like what is happening is insane, but
yeah,
acting surprised that she's not studying. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
So she like finds her daughter's password, which is "mom sucks." Oh,
with an X,
with an X,
SUX,
and breaks into the laptop and sees the texts because she connected them to her MacBook like an idiot.
Yeah, and they come up on the home screen before you've even broken into the laptop. Like
maybe she had the application.
Amateur hour shit.
They should, yeah. It's like she's asking to get caught.
Anyway, it turns out that they're not at Annalise's studying. They're at the club.
The club, yeah, exactly.
And you're like, at the club? What, like they're drinking at the friend's house or something? No, they're at a nightclub. An actual nightclub.
The fuck, man? This was surreal.
Yeah.
The girl is 14 years old.
Yeah.
And so the parents, I think, very reasonably are like, what the fuck? We've got to go get her out of that nightclub. She's 14.
Well, but they live in, I guess, the Back in Action / Day Shiftiverse where everybody else is like, fuck it, 14 is good enough for nightclub as far as we're concerned.
Man, everyone's
in fact, like, I got to pull the lever here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same. Can I pull it with you? Both hands on. Ching.
Oh, yeah, sure. My name for this is the most hoppin' club for pedophiles.
Mm-hmm. It's the one from Detroiters, if you've ever seen that. It's just all the pedophiles know to go.
What's yours name, TJ?
Well, mine comes a little bit after this, so I'll wait.
Okay. So they show up and they're like, "Daughter, you're coming with us," and she's like, "No, I don't want to." And they're like, "Come on!" And then some adult men come up to them, and they're like, "We're taking our daughter home. She's 14. She can't be here." And this adult man says of this 14-year-old girl, not even like a 14-year-old girl who looks older, by the way. She looks 14.
Yeah.
She's very clearly a child. And
they accurately casted.
Yeah.
They really nailed it.
And this adult man goes, "She looks old enough to me."
Yeah.
Insane. And me as Cameron Diaz or Jamie Foxx is like, we got to get out of here right the fuck now. And we're not just taking our kid. You're all coming with us.
Yeah, that's true. Do they leave the other kids?
They do.
Oh,
they're
no.
like, their parent. I guess their parents don't love them. Come on, Alice.
They do say that.
They do say that. Yeah, you're right.
And they might be right.
I mean, they've got
because these kids are about to be trafficked.
Like it's a bad situation. But anyway, these pedophiles don't want to give up. So Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz have to beat them up. And he gets okay.
Yeah.
Click. I had this one, a casual club assault. This isn't like, hey, I step off, like things are gonna get real, like intimidation tactics, or even a little bit like I'm gonna, give you a little jab. They turn into, well, I guess we're fighting Navy SEALs now, and fucking destroy these nerds.
Yeah.
Or the pedophiles, whatever. They fucking go to town, man.
DJ, in a more reasonable scenario, you'd have a great point. Like, they go immediately to, like, DEF CON 1.
Yeah,
Like,
they throw a dude over a balcony. Could have killed him.
They probably did kill him.
Yeah, I mean, we never see.
So is that manslaughter or murder? How does that one work? So like second degree murder? Like it definitely wasn't like premeditated, but like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I feel like it might end up at second degree because it would be like the difference between manslaughter and like second degree murder, I think, is like, could you have reasonably inferred in that situation that you would have killed someone?
Right.
And the answer is, in this situation, absolutely.
But you see, she used mama strength and stuff. Her instincts kicked in when the guy grabbed the girl as if he's gonna muscle her away.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say, DJ. In a normal situation, you'd be totally right. In a situation where an adult man just said to me, "I'm gonna go do pedophile stuff with your daughter," more or less, like all bets are off.
I will say that's fair. Like I probably have a similar reaction. I don't know if I was a 15-year-old retired CIA operative. These two didn't miss a fucking beat. Yeah. There was no, because you can see a bit like this where like Jamie Foxx is like, "Oh, I'm back," like Incredible style, back in action. We're back in action, but no, they've been fresh this whole time.
Oh, I feel like everybody's got one, so I want to pull a crank on the lever real quick. Click, click, click. Watang. Hey, buddy, probably shouldn't film your friend admitting to his sexual assault plans. The guy's friend has his camera out and he's showing. That's going to be on film as him going, 14's old enough for me. Like, it's pretty hard to get charged with stuff like that. Unless you do that. That's the only way, is if you admit on camera before. Like, that is, man. And also, I feel like they give that guy like the kind of millennial, like, because he goes, or not millennial, but like Gen Z, like, "You're boomers, man. Don't even."
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. They do a both like they go through all the lines. They're like, "Okay, boomer, get out of here, Karen."
Yeah.
And just a bunch of stuff like that. And they're like, "We're not boomers. We're like Gen X cusp."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what age they're actually supposed to be, but they might be boomers based on how old they are in the previous 15-year scene.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be about the ages they actually are, which is like mid-50s.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're taking Alice home. Alice is mortified that they saved her from those pedophiles.
It's true. Not happy with
now,
the situation.
in fairness to the movie, I think it is an authentic teenage reaction to be mad that your parents saved you from an incredibly bad and dangerous situation that you wanted to be in.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that this movie kind of gets at a couple of times here is like the kids are like in these moments, like, because you're spies, right? Or something, like something's going on, and they're like, no, and then the kids completely back off it. But like, this is another one of those moments where it's like, you did like fucking John Wick, just say it, and they will not. You know.
So the parents ground the daughter, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?" She blah blah blah. There's a scene where you think they're gonna have sex, and instead they're practicing fighting, but then they just have sex after that.
Yeah, they have sex after. Yeah, good for them. Honestly, keep it fresh. That was a good, nice little bait and switch. I didn't hate it.
Anyway, the next day, they send the kids off to school, but who to their wandering eyes should appear but Kyle Chandler?
No way. Older. 15 years older.
Yeah, his hair's a little different.
It's like, it's different, and he's got like kind of, because his hair is grayer, but also it made me go back and look at, because I was watching it.
They put the salt and pepper in, I think.
The wig they gave him for the beginning was also like a very like young little guy wig. It's a good. They spent all the money on the Kyle Chandler hair. They didn't give a dime to either of these two to make them look younger or older, which is, fine, I guess. I don't know.
Well, they only had enough makeup budget to do them in one style, so they're like, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting because this is Cameron Diaz's first movie back in a while. This
in
is also
11
like
years, I believe we said.
Yeah,
back in action.
And this is Jamie Foxx's first movie back from like having a stroke during filming this movie or something like that. Do you guys remember that?
Oh my god!
What?
Really?
Yeah, he like almost died. I remember this happening online where people were like posting on Twitter like, Jamie Foxx's kid said he's at the hospital and he's about to die, and then he didn't. But I think I read that he had a 5% chance of surviving whatever he had, which I think was a stroke, and it was while they were making this. So, yeah, maybe all the makeup
good for him
went
that
to,
he lived.
stroke stuff.
Yeah.
Good for him that he got to finish Back in Action. That's
yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? Seeing the final product, maybe the alternative.
Yeah.
He might have cared. I don't know. Like,
I think he's good in it. I liked him in this. I don't think he's like great, but I thought it was funny enough.
So subdued for Jamie Foxx.
Knowing that happened, I'm like, incredible performance. I never would have guessed.
That's fair. That's a good point, Diggins. That's a good point.
Very few movies you can say the actor had a stroke mid-movie and you didn't even know. I mean, maybe it happens more than you'd think, but yeah, I'm gonna Google it just to make sure, but I'm pretty
All
sure.
right, well, I'll keep going while you do that. So Kyle Chandler's there, and instead of being like, "Oh my God, how did you find us? What's going on?" Blah blah, they're just like, "Oh hey, it's Kyle Chandler, our old friend. It's good to see you, buddy." Mm-hmm. Which is insane, but measures up to how they react to everything else in the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kyle Chandler is like, I know you deleted the one video people took of you destroying people at a club, but more than one person did it. So there's a video of you doing that, and now people are gonna find you. I found you, so other people definitely are gonna. So we gotta, and then he gets shot in the head.
Oh, right in the head, and he's dead.
And and I'm just gonna pull a lever.
Be the bad guy now.
That's actually So guys, we've watched a bunch of these movies, and as soon as this happened, really? I was like, oh well, he did it, right?
Yeah, I was kind of like, well, this is pretty implausible, but also like, I guess anything goes with these. Like,
anytime in one of these a supposed ally dies early on, it turns out that they're the villain.
I also feel like Kyle Chandler is a villain type. Like, I feel like he has that vibe.
He's the big hero in those Godzilla movies.
Yeah, and I feel like Friday Night Lights, he's supposed to be like the kind of down-to-earth coach. He's got a little bit rough edges, but he's mostly like a nice American guy.
Maybe he said the N-word a couple times in his life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who amongst us?
And I also think something else I learned about the Jimmy Fox thing is that hemorrhagic stroke, brain bleed, all that stuff. So before I forget, but back to Kyle Chandler getting shot. He's like, you guys got shot because you guys are back on our radar because we found this video of you, and now you're like, what did they find that they couldn't find from just like looking up pictures of him? Because like they have little passports with pictures that are them. It's just not their names, but like, I assume the CIA does like little Googles every so often to see if our Asians are out there with different pictures.
See what's going on.
And like different names with same pictures.
Yeah.
Also, he's a soccer coach. People tend to videotape that. Like, not a lot, but like, it's not like they're living completely off the grid. So I think what happened
it's not like they look even a little different.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think what happens is Kyle Chandler, or maybe one of his underlings, like the one with the computer hacking from later, her job is to check every so often for like cool, sick karate move, mom and dad, and then to see if they could find him, because otherwise you'd find him way earlier than this.
I guess you would then, though, right?
Yeah, like, for sure.
Okay. All right. I buy it.
Kyle Chandler also, so he says the people are after them because they want the ICS key, and they're like, we don't have the ICS key. And he's like, well, everyone thinks you do because we didn't find it in the plane wreckage. And also, we think Barron sold you out that day. So don't go to him if you happen to end up in London for reasons I couldn't fathom at this point in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no way you'll get there because you'll need a passport or something. So
yeah, and like I don't, as far as I know, there's no reason you would go to Britain. So like I don't know why I would even say that.
Yeah.
Click. Okay, I got a couple things here. Okay, first of all, they couldn't find the ICS key in the plane crash. Nothing survived that plane crash.
Yeah.
The ICS key's
Be fair, DJ. The ICS key box fell out of the back of the fuselage before it exploded.
Okay, fine. Well, second one. Okay, this ICS key or whatever, we're supposed to assume it has the same functionality from 15 years ago, and it can just do all that shit today.
Yeah.
Well,
like there's no way those things translate.
Well, DJ,
everything would have been updated.
There's no way it could have done that 15 years ago either. Clearly, it's just magic.
They should have been Matt. Like it should have been like guys, magic's real, and this is the only magic that exists, and we gotta keep it away.
CIA scientists invented magic, but the only thing they could figure out how to do with it so far is turn power grids on and off.
This can be part of the Brightiverse. This is like the bright phenomenon that leads to everybody being bright, and the network cops can be
so
friends.
then when Jamie Foxx beats up the guys, he can say fairy lives don't matter today. Right.
Yeah.
And Baron could be an orc cop.
Mm-hmm. I will say, what was the other thing about this? I do kind of buy, and we don't, because we do see the system that runs the thing, like that runs the big thing. What is it called? The London, whatever the fuck. And that is
whatever keeps London from flooding. Apparently,
Apparently,
I learned that was a thing. I guess
we'll get to it. But yeah, we see that, and it is modern. If you didn't expect, if I never saw that, I could buy that a government organization, especially if this was in America, is using software from 15 years ago because they just never were able to update it. Like that feels right on brand with we've integrated it with 20 other systems, but yeah, we do have everything running off the back of a, Windows XP thing that's in the, back of the storage room that we just cannot change. So yeah, I buy it.
Fair enough.
We'll get to the Thames thingy though, because that I think is its own thing.
Right. So they've, so they're on the run now because the Volka mercenaries, who are the Belarusian guys, or Belarusian, are after them. So they have a chase scene with their car, with their sensible minivan, and
it's practical, baby.
In the 90s version of this movie, or even like the early 2000s version of this movie, this would be like a dinky minivan. It would be like a joke.
Yeah.
It'd be like, look, they're driving a lame car because they're parents now, not spies. But now because of all the brand deals, none of the cars are allowed to look lame. So even though it's like the minivan, it's not a joke, and it just looks the same as every other car.
I will say minivans are pretty good nowadays.
That's true.
If you've driven a minivan recently, they've really upped the game. I don't think minivans suck anymore. I kind of want one.
Right, but that's the joke in this movie, right?
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. It doesn't deliver on the joke. That's fair.
Well, and that would be the joke, all right? Is like they would be driving the minivan, but like making it do flips and shit, and everybody else would be like, "Oh my god, they're just so incredible at driving that they've managed to turn this thing into an incredible driving thing." But they can't get there with this.
Anyway, so they have a big chase scene. They blow up all the cars. Say, hey, DJ, if you want to pull that lever about the Diet Coke and Mentos, now's the time.
Click. Okay. So, hey, remember the Diet Coke and Mentos?
I do remember that from 15 years ago or whenever this was happening, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. How is this not the joke from like on the plane or something, right? Because like that would have been like, oh, that was so big at the time. They were like, oh, great. So again, a couple things. Is it possible that, let's say, generic household Netflix watcher sits down with their generic 12-year-old child,
right,
to watch back in action? I don't know why this would happen, but I'm just gonna.
Those are the people that watch this movie are generic Netflix watcher. Like that is, there's towns and houses full of them.
The AI that Facebook is making, they're the people who watch these movies.
That's right.
Yeah, and like with their generic 12-year-old child, they watch that and they're like, "Mom/Dad, the hell's that about?" Because they don't know. Right? There's no way anyone under the age of like 16 knows what the hell's going on with that.
No,
right?
See, I think it's the opposite. I think what this should have been is they do it and then the kids don't know what it is. And then they're like, what do you mean? This is like a meme that's popular. And then their little children are like, what are you talking about? I've never seen that before. And
that's
like,
what I mean.
Man,
that's what DJ is saying.
Oh, you're saying the parents would get it and the kids wouldn't?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said the kids would get it and the parents wouldn't. Sorry. Yes,
No. Like anyone
I agree.
under the age of 16, this is lost on, right?
100%.
It's like,
yeah.
There's no way. It's a mirror. Well, oh, right. Because the kid doesn't do it, right? The
kids aren't there.
Yeah, this happens before the kids are in it.
Yeah. But it's like, it's crazy that this was put into this movie at the wrong point in the movie. Because there is a point in this movie where this does make sense. I can't believe it was in this movie when it was. It's crazy to me. Also, that shit only works on fresh Diet Coke. If Diet Coke was open previously, wouldn't have worked. right.
Yeah, it's been open for like a day.
Yeah, it would not have worked. You got to eat a fresh Diet Coke. I don't know how young our audience skews. Like, what's at the low end? But you know, if you've never seen it and you want to try it, I'll admit it's reasonably fun.
Oh
like,
yeah,
go into your backyard.
I mean, it's pretty
and, like,
cool.
Go do it. Yeah.
The science behind it is interesting because it doesn't work
Yeah.
with regular Coke as well, and like
Mhm.
it's very specific to Mentos. I don't
Yeah.
know when we figured this out as a society and like what happened to get us there, but this was like before Donald Trump. This was like what the news was stuff like this. The news anchors would start at 6 o'clock evening news for
So
Diet
true.
Coke and Mentos. Everybody, you try it in your backyard.
There's that, or hackers from 4chan blew up a van.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was like this. It was like Ice Bucket Challenge. That was big.
Mhm.
We were trying to like cure cancer. I think I can't remember. But we all did it. Did you guys do the Mentos thing? Did you
I
guys
actually
talk about
only
that?
seen it done. I've never done it, but
Yeah,
Oh,
I've seen it. I've never done it.
You guys, oh, it's fun, guys. Access your inner child. I mean, I know we weren't like children when this happened, but like you felt like you were accessing from 5
right.
to 7 years ago.
So
Now it
next
would be, like,
time we're all
20.
in person together.
Yeah.
Nando's bringing the yo-yo and the hula
And the
hoop.
hula
DJ's
hoop.
bringing the Diet Coke and Mentos.
well, it's gonna be
There's
soon too. Maybe we'll see, but
Maybe.
we're gonna do some hula hooping. That'll be fun.
Anyway, yeah. So
Anyway, that's my lever nonsense about this stupid shit.
they lose the Volca and make it to the school, and they're like, "All right, kids, we're leaving," and they usher the kids off to an airport. Where they're like, "All right, we're leaving," and then they get to leave from the airport. The kids are like, "What the hell is going on?" And they're like, "We're going to your grandma's house. Grandma who's dead? Yeah, she's not dead, and we're going to visit her."
Yeah,
And the kids are like, "This is bullshit. You're not telling us something." And the parents are like, "Well," and then we go to the next scene.
Yeah, I feel like there's an overall theme in this movie about like, hey, don't lie to your kids, but they never really get there.
Oh no, DJ. In fact, when we get to the next, just to explain the parent thing, by the way, yeah. So Cameron Diaz hates her mom, as we've discussed, but Jamie Foxx actually did take the ICS key as an insurance policy before they faked their deaths, and he hid it at Cameron Diaz's mom's estate. So they have to go there to get the ICS key, so they can go to the CIA and say, "Hey, we're back. We faked our devs, but we need protection now. Here's the ICS key so you don't arrest us." And I'm like, I'm not sure they'd arrest you in the first place, but whatever.
it's true.
Yeah, I want to know when he hit it and how. Like, I want to know how that
Shut
whole thing
up.
happened.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
That's when and how. Shut up.
All right. Thank you.
So they get to the UK, no problem. It's actually not an issue at all. On the plane ride over, they talk about how it's like, "Ooh, should we tell the kids?" And Jamie Foxx is like, "No, it's good and correct to lie to your children. That's just good parenting." And Cameron Diaz is like, "You're right. It is good and correct to lie to your children."
well, and that's the thing too. It's like when they say that, I'm like, yeah, I guess like yesterday it was good and correct to lie to your children. You're gonna go to customs and give fake passports. You should probably let the kids know that that's something that we're doing, just so
Good.
that they could be on the same page.
Good on those kids for not like
Yeah, they played
giving
really
the game
cool.
away. Like, how's a little kid like, wait, our last name's Baker? Like,
Yeah. I don't even. Do they change the first names of the kids too? Do we ever see?
Yes, the names
Yeah.
are fully fake.
So the girl's wearing an A necklace on the whole time. It's not like a dead giveaway that nobody in the family's name starts with an A, that maybe something's up. I don't know. You figured they would ask, but I guess not.
Nope. But anyway, they steal a car from Heathrow. I assume it's Heathrow.
Probably.
Yeah, I
It's a
don't know.
London airport. And they start driving off. But then Andrew Scott Barron shows up and he's like, "They're here. The thing is happening. We've got to find them." And also, when I say them, I mean her. Oops, did I say her? I meant them.
That's right.
And then at the end of every scene he's in, he like goes to his assistant and is like, "Go away for a second. I need to make an ominous phone call."
Yeah.
And then we cut to a scene of the Belarusian terrorists being like, I just got an ominous phone call. Here's what we need to do.
Yep. The screenwriting bot really nailed it. Like, it knows what this scene is kind of supposed to look like. I got 1, 2, and 3.
And they're driving along. They take the kids' phones. They're like, no internet. But when they stop at a gas station, the kids go to buy food. And the 12-year-old son is like, I don't like English breakfast because it ruins my cholesterol. A very relatable kid bit.
Yeah. Like, yeah. So this kid has been, I feel like they characterize, is this a child that exists? I guess this health conscious child who wears his little fitness trackers and stuff.
Maybe. But like, how's a kid getting an Oura ring? The parents don't have to buy it for him.
Yeah.
So there's like some enforcement going on there by the parents.
I mean, yeah, there's billions of people on Earth, so I don't want to say there's no child who acts like this, but it can't be popular.
Yeah, I guess this is not like an archetype of child, right? Like nerds now are all about cholesterol and stuff. But
they go on the internet on his Nintendo Switch so they can look up their fake names that are on their passports.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, there was a lighter in the car, and Jamie Foxx very conspicuously took the lighter from his daughter.
Yeah.
So the kids use the internet, and that lets everyone pinpoint where they are. They're like, oh, an internet got used. Everyone converge on their location. So the Volca, the Belarusian mercenaries, get there first. And there's a big fight scene set to another American standard. Where Jamie Foxx uses the lighter to turn a gas pump into a flamethrower, which is not even a little bit how that would work.
Yeah. The shot when he puts the gas, like there's a second where it's not going yet, and it's just like he lights up it. Like as if you light it and then you pull the trigger and then the fire goes out. I don't know why it looks so bad, but it looks really bad.
What would happen? I know not that. You don't get a flamethrower like it's, axe can, and even like an axe can with like aerosol with a lighter. You don't get that. You kind of just flares up in your face. What would gasoline like?
It would go back into the tank and set all of the gas on fire, which probably wouldn't explode, but would like be burning toxic fumes.
So there's that, and then the other thing about gas that I have a feeling is true. Obviously I've never done this. I didn't even do Diet Coke and Mentos, so the sheltered life I live.
It was at the gas station.
But the two things that I think kind of change how this would go, I do think you could maybe get away with, like with the hair dryer, or not hair dryer, but with like if you hold the lighter in front of a thing. My problem with this is, it's shooting gas out like it is a fire hose. And I don't think that's how gas pumps work. Like, I think it just would dribble out right in front of him and then create a little puddle of fire he has to deal with. But he's using it like Arnold Schwarzenegger does in True Lies for a second. But I don't know. It's pretty dumb. It's not that cool. I don't know. But the kids are like, wow, our dad's cool and our mom's cool doing karate and killing all the guys.
Yeah. A little bit of like, what the fuck, though, from the daughter. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
She's like the only one who I think gives like a proper response to some of this insanity.
And what's her name? Cameron Diaz does a little wave back like, hey,
honey.
And you're like, oh, this is the movie again. They almost did it for a second. That was fun.
Yeah. So Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz beat up all the mercenaries and don't kill them. They just beat them up. They're very clear on this point.
Yeah.
And then they drive off with the kids, and they lose Baron and MI6 by shooting a convenient truck with a bunch of construction pipes.
Yep.
That was great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the kids are like, what's going on? And the parents are like, fine, we're former CIA agents and bad things are happening. And now we're going to your mom's because she's also used to be a secret agent. We're going to your grandma's, whatever. And then Jamie Foxx throws the kid's Switch into a truck going the other way because it has the internet.
He does an incredible throw when you find out that he planned to throw it into the other truck. Like, over the shoulder, not even looking, and then it flies in the air. It's incredible.
Yeah, if I was the son, I'd be like, I'm not sure I'm even mad. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that briefly fools Baron before he goes off to make another ominous phone call. And And then they make it to the Foxhound estate.
Yep.
Oh,
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Which is where Cameron Diaz's mom lives. And they get there and it turns out, her mom's Glenn Close.
Meemaw.
Meemaw.
From Hillbilly Elegy, right?
That's right. She goes up and she's like, Meemaw, it's you.
It's you.
Do you guys think that this movie will be the one that finally gets her the Oscar?
I hope
100%.
so. She deserves it. I didn't hate her in this. I think she was okay. I don't think she did a very good job, but I've seen her in so many worse things recently that I think I was like, cool, yeah, that's fine. You guys haven't watched that movie where she's Southern, but it's so bad.
I haven't. You're right.
It's and have you watched Hillbilly Elegy? Ever seen it? This scene she's in her, like, you can watch it and she's going for something. Like, so I'm glad that she didn't have to do that in this.
Yeah, so the Cameron Diaz and Glenn Close are like, I don't like you. But Jimmy Fox explains the situation. We hid the ICS key and we got to get it. And Jamie Demetrio shows up and is like, I'm having sex with your mother.
Yeah, way to go.
Man, this guy, I don't know why, but I got like a tone, like I would like British Tony Hale. Like, I don't know, but that's like the vibe I got.
Sure. I see how you're getting.
See it?
I see.
Okay.
I mean, he's a guy who's always silly when he's in something. Like, you see
always
him
kind of
and
like
you're not
silly and ineffectual.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this is maybe the least that he's ever looked in a movie that I've seen. But he is still a doofus. And like, he's got a weird, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of funny the way that they position him in this, but
he's like training to be an MI6 with her, but also he's her lover. And it's never clear to me if the MI6 thing is actually true or if he's just saying that.
Yeah. Or if she's stringing him along with it. Like, I couldn't, there was, that whole thing didn't make any sense to me.
Anyway, Cameron Diaz and Glenn Close have a big fight about how she was a bad mom. And Glenn Close is like, did you ever think about maybe I wasn't a bad mom, but actually you were just angry? And Cameron Diaz is like, what?
Yeah. What about that time you said you wanted to be sent off to boarding school and never talk to me again? Do you remember? And so this is kind of your fault, really. If you want to blame somebody.
A teenager once said one thing about how they don't like their parents, and that means our decades-long estrangement is really your fault.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I'm going to pull the lever for my big point on this movie, which is the point where I say it is fully aimed at that like parent of older children audience.
Yeah.
Which is the thesis statement of this movie is parents are owed forgiveness no matter what.
Yeah, that's fair.
The thesis statement of this movie is no matter what your parents have ever done, you owe it to them to forgive them and let them be in your life because they deserve it. Which is a message not for the kids that it's ostensibly telling it to, but for the parents. So next time their kids won't call them because they refuse to correctly gender their child, they're like, well, they're supposed to forgive me, so this is their fault.
Yeah. I can't argue with that. I
can't argue with that either.
That's definitely
pretty you nailed it, Diggins.
Mm-hmm.
You nailed it. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
Anyway, it's very subtextual. I wouldn't say this movie is like particularly like problematic, but that felt like pretty strong subtext to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't linger on it too long because the lever is starting to shake angrily. I need to move faster.
Oh no.
Oh man.
All right, so they get the ICS key, but at the same time, the Volca show up. Oh no.
Oh yeah.
And they like tie up Glenn Close and Jamie Demetrio and kidnap the kids, and they're like, give us the ICS key. But when Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz go to do it, the leader is Kyle Chandler.
What? Again.
Who could have guessed? And Kyle Chandler is like, you'd think this would be the part where I reveal that I sold you out 15 years ago, but actually, no. My turn came after you faked your deaths because that ruined my career and I got mad about it and need money.
Oh, yeah.
This
so
fucking
true.
turn.
So who sold you out 15 years ago? Fucking nobody, I guess. Or it doesn't matter.
Yeah, wait.
This was quite the turn.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. So, but Andrew Scott got them the jet, right? But that was like his doing.
Yeah, but I guess someone else like got their guys on the jet because they knew the jet was happening.
So what did Andrew Scott do? Was he just like, I'll get you this jet and whoever shows up to pilot it? I don't really keep a close eye on who that is because I'm just in MI6.
I don't have time to vet the crew. Get out of here.
I don't know if we had Fiverr back in 2010, but that's where we got all these guys. So, try to be nice to them.
They're working for tips, so I hope you have cash.
Yeah.
Or no, they also provided their Venmo code because we live in a cashless society.
It's true.
Love when
this was 2010,
man.
Yeah,
this was 2010. DJ, that's
PayPal, email address, QR
we were
code,
in a cash
maybe.
full society.
That's true. That's true.
Also, real quick before we get off it, I do want to call out another pretty funny joke. When they find the PSP, not PSP, it's not PSP. It's a
the Switch.
If only it was a PSP. When they find the Switch, you guys remember what it says? What apparently, even before he did his sick no-look, like, behind-the-back toss into the garbage truck, Jamie Foxx managed to create his own little me, get him to do a pose like this, and then say, Baron, it's not you, it's your personality. Or it's not your looks, it's your personality. And, like, send a message to, what's his name? That's awesome. Like, the amount of typing he does when he's doing that is incredible.
That's true.
Considering what he's able to pull off. Like... Yeah, I'd be so impressed, but nobody really gets to enjoy the full scope of that.
Also, it's not really that important, but Jimmy Demetrio is like looking after the 12-year-old son at one point, and is like, because of eugenics, you're really good at spy stuff.
What the fuck was that? I thought it was gonna go poorly. Like he was gonna throw the throwing star, was gonna bounce back and like get him in the eye, like South Park. It's like, oh, what have I done?
Well, I thought it was that, or I thought there would be something where it's like your parents have been subtly training you to be a spy. Like when you look back at all the things you've done, but it's not that. There's no like.
No, it's eugenics.
Yeah, it is just it's in your blood, and it's not like fast reflexes like in some movies, which I would kind of accept. It's like you could throw a throwing star at a dartboard on the other side of the room, get a bullseye. Throwing stars are so hard to use.
It's
like
true.
They're like the opposite of axes.
Yeah, they really are. And it is nuts. And does the daughter have any of these skills?
No,
because she wasn't blessed with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, Kyle Chandler they give him the ICS key and he managed to escape with the kids. And they're like, oh no, what are we going to do? So Glenn Close does a whole thing with a tranquilizer gun for some reason because we can't have the heroes kill people.
She's cool.
Yeah.
For some reason is the tranquilizer gun part. Why isn't she just shooting them with a gun?
Mm-hmm. I mean, she's like lighting some of them on fire, right? Or other I feel like there's a bit where she like bonks somebody on the head with a frying pan.
Yes, correct.
I'm like, that guy might be
burns them real good.
Yeah.
But they're like, what are we going to do? But then they realize in one of the pictures from the security camera, the son is showing his little aura ring thing. And they're like, we can use that to track him. A thing nobody from this far has thought about, because if they had, they would have found us super easy.
Yeah.
So they hack into his account and find his GPS data, and he's at the Tate Modern in London.
Wow.
Because it wouldn't be one of these without some more on-set shooting. Or on-location shooting. That's what I mean. So they get up in a tux and a sensible pantsuit, which is definitely what the silly spy movie calls for in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And they infiltrate the black tie private gala at the Tate Modern to go find their kids. Meanwhile, Kyle Chandler's doing a demonstration where he's like, Daphne, my assistant, turn off all the power grid in London. And she does. And then he's like, turn on one of the power grid in London. And then she does. And then he's like, open the Thames flood access channel thing. And she does.
Yeah.
And he's like, look at all the cool stuff I can do. Who wants to pay me money for it?
Click, 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 click.
The wheel or the lever's in some serious trouble.
Man,
considering all that stuff.
Who are these people he assembled, and what's their plan? So I think the bidding starts at like what 150 million or something stupid, some dumb number.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like, okay, great, man. Let's say you spend $500 million on it, and you get it, and then now what? You just have fun, like playing on your iPad at night, like, oh, fuck you, Dubai, yeah, turn fucking lights up. Oh, Sydney, get fucked.
Obviously,
like,
you do cool crimes while the lights are off.
Call the mayor and be like, I'm gonna flood the city if you don't give me all the money I want, like, or whatever.
This is insane. You're gonna get caught eventually.
I mean,
I would assume from him doing this demonstration, they'd be like, well, let's look into why that happened. And be like, well, there's this security problem in our code. Let's patch that up real quick.
I do appreciate how when he opens the floodgates to flood London, like there's a shot to the control room and they're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
what do we do?
It is an important point that this ICS key not only gives you the power to turn these things off and on, but also apparently gives you the power to prevent anyone else from doing it through any other means by which you can normally do this.
No override. They're just panicking. They don't know what to do.
And like, I don't know, this floodgate thingy looks pretty modern. Like, I don't want to say it's definitely been built in the last 15 years, but it's definitely been upgraded in the last 15 years. And
some firmware updates.
Yeah, I feel like there's this whole thing. If it was like something like London Bridge that is a historical landmark, I'd buy it. But this thing that I didn't even know existed until I watched this movie really doesn't fit into the whole like scheme of it. What was I
It
gonna
has
say?
been operational since 1982.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So was London underwater prior to then?
That's the other thing.
not-
No, it doesn't do what this movie says it does.
Yeah, no, it's not constant. It's just for situations when the river does start to flood, they can raise it so that the actual city doesn't have problems.
Because if it did, we'd know about this thing. You know, the big dam holding all the water from London that for some reason can be turned off. London got real dirty the other day. Let's see if we give it a little bit of rinse. Just get an inch of water over the whole thing.
To be fair to this movie, it says that it works that way, where it's like, if we just turn it off, London will be flooded. But when he turns it off, it's fine and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it would be in real life.
Well, I want to say, all right, I'm going to pull the lever real quick. Clunk, 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 clunk. Two things. One, the black tie event, is it related to this? Like, or is it just a coincidence?
I don't know if he's like set up a fake black tie event as a cover, or if he's just like, well, that's convenient. Let's just do it there.
Yeah. So that part I found kind of strange. Not that interesting though. Part two, they eventually, so the bidding for this, do you guys remember how it goes? It's, by the way, it's so chill. He's like, does anybody want to do bidding on it now? And one guy's like, all right, $150 million. So one guy goes $150 million. I think it actually starts at $100 million. I don't remember, but it gets raised to $150 million, I think. And then it gets raised to $250 million by the third guy of three. I think Kyle Chandler's just like, that's pretty good. Gives him it.
Yeah.
Get billions for this thing. A.
Yeah.
He play the room, Kyle Chandler. Like, what
he gives the others like 2 seconds to beat 250 million, and he's like, no, actually, that's all I need.
He's happy with that number.
You know, good for him for realizing that like higher sums of money are ultimately unfulfilling. Like, you hit a certain point of wealth where it's just going to make you more unhappy to have more of it.
And that's fair. I think if I'm those guys, if I'm the United Nations or whatever these were in the Batman movie where they're trying to bid on Bane, I'd be like, oh, this isn't a real thing. He's giving this away to us pretty much.
Buddy.
Like, he knows somebody at the power grid to fuck with us, but this is like a blank SD card that he's going to hand me because he's not really putting the effort into it that you would expect.
Yeah, I remember it now. He does like a big shrug. He's like, oh, that's way better than I thought I'd do. I thought I was only walking away with, $1 million, 2 maybe. This is great.
You'd show up with your entire attaché to this event, like a bunch of guards and shit, and they'd be like, and you'd be like seeing other people at this big event, and then Kyle Chandler would like text you and be like, take the elevator up, and you just go up to an empty floor with like 3 guys and a laptop. And you'd be like, I thought we were getting a dinosaur auction level of like showmanship related to this. I don't even get a guy to check, one of my own computer guys, to make sure this is real.
Yeah.
You're just gonna give it to me? Well, how am I gonna pay you? With what?
Yeah, well, you just
Venmo me when you
idiot.
get the chance.
Why would I pay you now?
Yeah.
I'm a criminal.
Yeah. Oh, I think I'm actually going to
moron.
use the big machine that you just gave me to steal it all back from you or something. I assume it can do that.
Yeah, I'm going to turn your house lights off forever unless you give me the money.
I'm going to flood London, this city you're currently in, unless you give me the money. I've got the only boat, so I don't know what to tell you. It's $100 or $250 million. Like, I know we did this with the dinosaurs, but like, this is the thing that Ethan Hunt always has to get, or like the Fast and Furious movies have to get. Because when The Rock explains it, it's like, if you turn off the power in a city for an hour, every single person will die. It's just like fucking $250 million is not that much money. Like, dude, people have won billions of dollars in the lottery in America in our lifetime. Like, those guys could pick up one of these and still have some change left over for whatever else they want. So stupid. So stupid.
Incredible.
Also, wait, Kyle Chandler, did he know that they had this, or did you just suspect it?
He must have just suspected. There's no way he could know.
So did he book this whole thing on the off chance that he would be able to get it by today?
I guess.
Because I assume these guys came in from like,
and also
I don't know, Dubai,
on the
or
off
whatever.
chance that this would. Well, I do think there's a thing where he's like, I know this is all last minute, but
oh
this is
yeah,
what
that's
I've
true.
So I think he did do this very last minute.
So you can just pick up the Tate Modern. That's not like a good.
Well, he's a super criminal apparently, so
or whatever. Yeah, disgraced super criminal, or like disgraced ex-CIA agent.
And much like Jason Momoa in Fast X.
Yeah.
Even though theoretically he has no money or resources, he has infinite resources to do any evil thing he wants.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz show up, and so does Baron and MI6, and they're like, Baron, please don't arrest us. And he's like, what? Why would I do that?
I thought you guys stole this shit.
Yeah.
Like, there was a moment where I thought you guys were going to sell this, but that's obviously not what's happening. So, like, why would I arrest you? You haven't done anything. You really should have just gone to someone, because no one would arrest you. And
oh
like,
my
fuck!
God.
Yeah.
Anyway, they show up and they stop it, the handover, so he doesn't get to give it to the. I think it's like a. I am not trying to be insensitive, but they have dressed the man who wins it in the most stereotypical Arab chic costume you can imagine.
They do that, yeah. That's
like, this is on them. That all I can describe this man as is an Arab chic.
Mm-hmm. But how is it stopped? What happens that, interrupts the whole thing? Because I think this is fucking adorable.
I know they like take the like neon posts that are just around the Tate Modern and start beating people up with them, but
I'm talking about after that. Like, how do they? I
think you're gonna have to say I don't.
Yeah, it's the thing that lets them exit the museum, because they get out of the museum and like they're running away and shit, and then it's like they get caught by guys, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna get shot by guys, and then a laser beam is on one of the guys, and you get a shot of what's her name, Glenn Close, with a big giant sniper rifle that she set up off screen, and she's like, oh, I'll keep you away from the guys. It's so like, it's so classic Netflix movie. Like, well, she's got to be in an action scene, but she doesn't want to. Well, just put her in a shot with a big gun, and we'll figure it out. Like, and she did. Cool.
Sure does make her seem badass.
Yeah, but Kyle Chandler's gotten away, and he has the kids. He's put them on a boat, and he's riding out on the Thames, and the flood barrier's open, so he can just drive right through it.
Ruh-roh.
And that's just like nothing, It's like a giant flood barrier, so it's going to be like a little bump, I assume? or like I would imagine a humongous wave is going to be crashing towards him at this point, right? Like the flood barrier's open.
No, in fact, actually, the point that it comes level to is about where the water level is.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm not so sure he could drive over it anyway. I feel like the boat would bump against the barrier still and like flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would crash like it kind of does at the end of this, but without being something that the parents did. It just happened.
Anyway, so the parents get on it, steal a boat, and they go chasing after them. Meanwhile, Jamie Demetrio is just sitting with the car because he's too lame to do stuff, but he sees Daphne, the female assistant criminal, getting in a truck and driving away. So he hits her truck with his car, and she's just knocked out indefinitely by this.
Thank goodness.
And so he gets to go in and he takes the laptop that has the ICS key in it. And Glenn Close is like, do the hack, do the cool hack. And he's like, I don't know how to do the cool hack. And she's like, just do the cool hack. And he's like, oh no. And he hits the laptop. And because it's a movie, that makes it go like, you want to do a cool hack, huh? Here you go. And he gets to do a cool hack and raise the barrier.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, but the son can hack, right? So like, this is what he's gonna do or something. Like, but it is just he starts. I like how when they set this joke up, he presses the button the first time, and then a big error message comes up, and then he presses the button a couple more times, and more error messages come up, and he's like, oh fuck, I just can't do this. Like this is not a me thing, yeah, because that is what it is. But then, yeah, he instead just gets really lucky. It's so dumb. It's so bad. The movie sucks.
Meanwhile,
I like that. I had fun.
Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx catch up with Kyle Chandler's boat. Cameron Diaz very clearly flips onto Kyle Chandler's boat. It's not clear to me when Jamie Foxx does this, but apparently he does also.
No, yeah, I think he lines up the boats and does a little jump over. I kind of remember it, but I don't. I'm looking at it.
I don't know.
Now.
I found this sequence poorly edited.
Yeah.
But anyway, they both jump on the boat, and then they're like, Kyle Chandler, give us back our kids, and they do some fighting. And Kyle Chandler is on a different part of the boat, but it feels like a different part of the country.
Yeah.
From how separated he is from them in the editing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they beat up all his goons, and then they're like, all right, Kyle Chandler, we're taking our kids. And he's like, no, don't take your kids, haha. But like doesn't actually do anything to stop them. And they just jump off with like life preservers or, life jackets.
Yeah.
So that they can just float down the Thames. And Kyle Chandler's left by himself. And he's like, uh-oh, because the flood barrier's closed. So he hits it and his whole boat explodes and he dies a coward's death.
Warp, warp, warp.
Now, if you're Kyle Chandler and this whole thing is going on before you know the thing's going to close, because he doesn't think it's going to close. He thinks he's got, scot-free. Why don't you just stop driving the boat and also get involved with the fighting? Does he not know what's happening at all? Because guys are coming out from inside of the boat to join the fight, like this little clown car.
Yeah, the boat's
guys.
a goddamn clown car.
Yeah.
There's a million guys in the boat.
So, like, I feel like Kyle Chandler seems to know that this isn't going to work. So he's like, fuck, I got to really thread the needle. Otherwise, the barrier's going to go up. But it's not. So the fact that he never gets involved makes me think he just was driving this boat the whole time and then turned around and all his guys were dead. And
it's like, oh, shit.
Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz were there because, it's just really weird.
This is the only fight scene, by the way, where they don't play like fun little music. No, it's like all action music. So, yeah.
But you know what? It's not worse for it.
No, yeah, it's just, and it's one of those scores where it's like pretty, I don't know, it's pretty generic.
Yeah, like an MCU movie.
Yeah, honestly, if only, but it's not. Yeah, I don't know. It's whole thing's fine, but pretty cool movie. I guess there's more to it than this, but that is
there's just a little bit more. There's that we get to see finally the big soccer game where the daughter's a cool soccer star. And they're like, woo, and Glenn Close is there because Cameron Diaz and Glenn Close are cool now because you should always forgive your parents no matter what they do.
Exactly.
And they're like, oh, it's all good and cool. But then Baron shows up in their car and he's like, Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx, I need your help one more time. And they're like, we're out. And he's like, but this is, I need to recruit Cameron Diaz's father. And Jimmy Fox is like, what? I don't even know about him. And Cameron Diaz is like, and then credits.
We haven't cast him yet, but it'll be somebody. Who do you think it's going to be?
We haven't decided if enough cats liked this one, if we're going to make a 2.
I know.
No way they make a 2. There's no fucking way.
This was number 1 on their thing, and sometimes they make 2s of stuff. I don't know. I mean, who knows? I feel like
it's only we're gonna get Red Totus any day now.
Yeah.
What was the Chris Hemsworth one? They actually did make a second
Extraction.
one. Extraction.
The Rake. The Rake cinematic universe.
We never did that.
We never did that movie. Right? Or something.
It's something Rake.
It was something Rake. Yeah, he was one of the Rake guys. We should have done that. Well, no, because it was boring. I didn't really like it, and it was pretty good too, but I still didn't like it. What was I going to say?
Better than this, to be fair.
Extraction? No, it's not.
Yeah, I think our Extraction's maybe better than this. You don't think so, Dickens?
I really didn't like Extraction.
I think
Extraction, really didn't like this.
Extraction at least had like some technical stuff where I'm like, that was probably hard. This is kind of cool to watch him do this big one-take action scene. Whereas this, none of the action scenes were very good. Tyler Rake, okay. Rake. His dad's probably John Rake or something.
I guess I can accept that argument. I don't know. I don't like any of these. Like, you're asking me to compare, like, how I feel about the taste of cat food versus dirt.
Wow.
Like, one's probably worse, but, like, I don't really feel like thinking about it that hard.
Well, you're going to have to be eating them once the water wars start, so you better get a favorite.
Excuse you, Mad Max eats dog food, not cat food.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What was the other? Oh, yeah, no, Harrison Ford, I think, is a good guess, though, for who her dad will be.
I feel like he'd do it.
Would he, though?
I think so.
Yeah,
he seems so available. I think he's trying to pad the resume before
death.
You know,
before what, DJ? What's gonna happen, Harrison?
Before the plane crash that finally gets him.
Yeah, that's true.
Or do we have any other like aging like? Because I feel like at least with Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz, the bit is that they used to be big action stars or whatever Jamie Foxx used to be, and now they're doing this. And it's like they're back in action. I wouldn't say that's really Glenn Close's bit, but like, who's the guy version of that?
That's whose Assance would it be? Is the question.
Mel Gibson.
I was gonna say maybe one of our. Well, because he did that in fucking whatchamacallit. He's in the Daddy's Home. I think he's in Daddy's Home too, as like the toughest daddy there ever was.
The cool dad.
Yeah, and I think he could fit into this. Probably will. Yeah, be in it. Also, I don't think we've made this clear. Like we made it clear, but we've mentioned this. Cameron Diaz has no accent in this movie. Like there is nothing connecting her to Glenn Close.
Oh yeah, Glenn Close is doing the full British accent, and Cameron Diaz has like they say, I sent you to boarding school as a teenager, and you've spent too long in America, why you have no British accent. But it's like people do lose their accents. Generally, if you get to the point of teenager where you like grew up with that accent, like you keep traces at least.
Yeah. Jamie Foxx, a spy, would probably be able to hear it on her or something. Like it would. I feel like.
Well, he does know that she's British.
Does he?
Because he knows who her mom is.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. But like, yeah, it's weird because it reminds me of Craven, where it's also like you went to boarding school in America, and that's how your character doesn't have to have an accent. But I think it would have been funny if she dropped it, like when they got to England, maybe because she was supposed to be from England, and then the kids were like, "Mom, you're British," and then for the rest of the movie, Cameron Diaz was like, "Hello, children, it's me."
hello,
puppet."
Just the shittiest accent you can imagine. That would have been pretty cool.
It's my fair lady now. The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plane.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't know. They'll probably make more of these, right? That's how these work.
I'd say no.
I don't know how to tell anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. I could never guess.
But hey, guys, that was Back in Action. So you want to get to our classic segment?
Our classic segment.
Let's do it.
I love it.
Is like recommend some stuff to some fine people.
That's
DJ, what do you have to recommend?
All right. This might be one of my most shameful wrecks in a while.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think it was over the holidays. I was talking to one of my cousins. We're talking about different TV shows. He was talking about this one show, and he's like, DJ, this show is the dumbest show I've watched this year.
Oh, yeah.
My family and I are addicted, and we can't stop watching. And he told me about a little show called The Floor. Are you guys like familiar with the show?
Just through the SNL sketch. I'm familiar with it.
I'm familiar with the concept of floors.
Okay, well then you already have a great start. So, okay, here's the show. It's hosted by Rob Lowe, who is easily the worst game show host of all time. He fucking sucks at it. He has no charm. He has barely any charisma. And like when someone loses a match, he's like, sucks, bro. And then it's like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, hold on, DJ. You just described a great game show.
Yeah, that's really funny.
He's not fake nice. He's just mean. And it's a weird thing for this weird persona for Rob Lowe to have adopted. I don't know. I know him as Chris Traeger and man who sells Atkins bars.
Yeah, like and that other thing he did back in the 90s that we don't talk about as much anymore, right?
Yeah, we don't talk about that anymore, Nando.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that other thing.
Good for him.
So the concept is, the floor is this 10 by 10 grid that has 100 spaces. And every space has a contestant. So there's 100 contestants. And every contestant has their own selected category. The categories can be very broad, like farm, or I don't know, like autumn, car parts. But then it can get as specific as like world currencies and like historical monuments, it's something like, or like Taylor Swift songs is probably one of the like most specific ones, right? There's like a very finite number of those, even with her discography, right? There's like, I don't know,
there's a finite number of those other things too.
Yeah, but
but like farm you could do a lot of, right? Like even like state capitals, right? You kind of understand the bounds. So someone at random gets chosen, and they have to challenge someone adjacent to them in their selected category. So like Nando, if I was next to Nando and his category was Marvel characters, I'm like, all right, I think I know Marvel characters better than Nando. I'm going to challenge him. And you go up and they flash a picture of a thing and you have to say what it is. And I cannot overstate how like simple the show is. Like you watch season 2 and the first one's farm, and it's like cow, horse.
I was gonna say, I think I know most of the things.
Chicken, tractor, and you're watching this like this can't be a game show. This can't be a game show. Like, what am I watching? Like, you're in disbelief at how like the idiocracy levels of this game show.
Is this for babies? Like that little thing that you spin and then it goes moo the cow? Because this is what it feels like.
That is what it feels like, Nando. That is what it feels like. And then so like you have a timer going down, and every time you're going and your picture and stuff is up, the timer goes down. And like if you say pass, the timer keeps going down. They show a new photo, and you gotta say that one. And then when you get it correctly, it goes to the other person, then their timer runs down. So the first person who timer hits 0, they lose. And then whoever won, they take their spot of the floor. And then you could continue to like challenge someone else adjacent, or you go back to the floor to potentially be challenged. And if you did your category, then you get the other person's category. But if you beat the other person's category, you keep your category. So it was like a little bit of strategy. The first episode, like if you choose to embark on this journey, the first episode you watch, like, this is the fucking stupidest thing I've ever seen. That this is insane. How is it a game show of like, it really is. It's like things in a grocery store, soda can, milk, eggs. You're like, this can't be a fucking game show. But there's like these really weird random categories that are hard. Like the one that I would have looked like a complete moron on is like world currencies. I know
DJ, let's go right now. You start.
I need to see a picture. You told me to name them. Like,
they show pictures and I have to say what the picture is of?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. I'm more concerned about how Taylor Swift songs would work. Do they play it?
They do, like, one of the words is blank. So, like, shake it blank. So you have to say shake it off. Or, like,
gotcha.
I don't know. If it was like a Rihanna song, it'd be like, blank better have my money, or like bitch better have my money, right? Like that's how like some
Mads
of them,
Mikkelsen.
like animal sounds, they play the animal sound and you have to guess the animal sound. That one is like the child, like the cow says
Damn.
So yeah, they show the picture of the currency and you have to name what that world currency is, and I was like totally fucked. Like I learned so many new currencies. Like, did you guys know there's a thing called the lira?
I've heard of
in
it,
Turkey.
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah,
It's on the spelling bee
I
a
have
lot. Or
some.
not spelling bee, on the crossword puzzle a lot.
Oh, is it really?
A lot of things I know mostly from the crossword puzzle, especially like yuan and yen and all that stuff. So I would never be able to recognize them if I saw one. But
yeah, I know, right?
I know they exist.
Yeah, like you don't just go back and forth saying things in the category. They show a picture, right? And like
tough.
sometimes they'll like really like they try and throw you off, but like, you know, you'll be like, oh, like paintings. I would have looked like a moron for paintings.
How do
they
you
show up?
Oh yeah.
They show a painting and like, you got to name the painting. What am I supposed to do?
How do you win?
So the winner at the end. Oh, look at that! Diggins
That's a
pulled
100
out.
lira note.
Good job, thank you, sir.
Who's that guy? Who's on the
I
front
don't
of
know.
it? Ah, some guy.
Oh wait, no, it says it's Bahurizada Mustafa Effendi.
Cannot believe Diggins had that on him. Cannot believe it.
I've been
So-
to Turkey.
Yeah, I guess. But all right. Anyway, so how do you win? It's a last man standing kind of thing. So whoever owns the entire floor at the end wins the game. They win $250,000. Also, at the end of every episode, whoever has like the most floor wins 20 grand.
Okay, yeah, because it doesn't seem like this would go as quickly as it would need to. But
Well,
yeah.
it's an entire season is one game of the floor.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's like they do like roughly 8 an episode. So like floor amasses through the season of the floor.
So that's how they avoid having to pay out too many people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 20K an episode plus the 250. Yeah. So, and I said, like, you'll feel like an idiot, but guys, I'm like addicted to this fucking show. I don't know what it is. I think the show slowly rots your brain. And then that brain rot, like a zombie, brings you back to the show. And that's why I'm recommending it here. And it's very confusing. It doesn't make sense. And I hate Rob Lowe. And I keep texting my cousin how much I hate Rob Lowe because he's so bad on the show. But like, I now want to see people try and name pictures of things under the category autumn. And it's really funny when they show a picture of like hot apple cider and they're like, coffee, hot chocolate, pumpkin spice latte, pass. And they're like, oh, apple cider, no! Like, it's that, there's some element of that like, not that I think I'm smarter or better than that person, but like, you know, it's kind of like watching the train crash. I don't want to give away too much, right? But like, there are people who go up there and you're like, why did you challenge them in that category? Why did you select this as your category? All these questions. Why are you here? And it seems like they have a mix of people who some people are like, I know the floor so well and I have strategy, because it's like you pass early. If you see an image you don't know it, you just pass early. But some people are like, pass, right? And like, there's these mix of people, and it's like, how'd you find them all? Right? Because like, you know, some people they know, they're like, I came here to play, and other people are like, I'm just here to have a good time.
What would your floor category be, DJ, if you got to pick?
I was wondering this. I think so. My favorite category this season I haven't seen yet, but it's a brilliant category to pick. It's female leaders, because no one will challenge you. Because no one wants to get up there and look like an idiot not being able to name the female leaders, right? Like,
Ooh. Well, just like that SNL sketch, you could also do
I was just gonna
black
say,
actors.
Yeah, I just put that sketch of the thing if you guys want to watch it, but yeah.
yeah, like I think something like that would be fun. What would I actually do? Like, probably like Dungeons and Dragons, because I think that's like, because someone was like, I know the most Star Wars, and another guy was like, I know the most Star Wars, and I'm like, Star Wars at this point has become like way too broad. It's not like a niche thing.
Yeah.
I still think Dungeons and Dragons is like still there, unless I'm unlucky enough to be next to the person who also knows it very well. But I think mine would be Dungeons and Dragons. What about you guys? I mean, well, I don't want to assume. What would your guys' categories be?
Celebrity penises. Not that I know any, but I would love to see someone
That's
feel
a
like
good one.
they think they can do it. They'd be like, I've seen enough that I think I could challenge him. And I'd be like, really? You think you could challenge me? And they'd be like, never mind. I'm not going to bother. And I'd be on the show for the whole season.
Could you win just by not getting challenged all season? Then the guy who has every other tile challenges you, you beat him, and you just get everything?
Yes, that is how this
Yeah,
works.
so that's my plan.
Awesome.
I probably have
Yeah.
to like find out what a few celebrity penises look like. So like I'd have to start watching movies like, you know, with who's hanging dong in movies these days? Michael Fassbender
Not
or something.
enough people, I think.
Just enough that I could probably win this game, and then
You could see, was it Josh O'Connor's in Challengers?
Josh O'Connor. Oh, sure, yeah. Well, I don't want to say he's like a celeb. I feel like these celebrities on this, I feel like would be like people that are very famous. So like, I don't know, it'd be tough. They don't make them like that anymore. Where you'd have celebrities that are the most famous guy on earth who also just constantly hangs dong, but we'd have to find some.
Poorer for it.
Yeah, this is one of the problems. This is why we get back in action instead of, you know, Streetcar Named Desire or great movies, is because of all the dongs not being hung.
I think because of like this podcast, I think all of us could crush Netflix original movies.
Yeah, I think
my
that
gosh,
would be pretty
that's a
sick.
really good one.
Because no one else on Earth remembers them.
Yeah, and like
Mm-hmm.
I think the trick is like you got to pick something where like no one's gonna challenge you. Like these people who are like, oh, like cities or like capitals. Like, no, man, you need something where it's like, oh, I'm not taking on female leaders. I refuse. I'm not
even. You don't even know that Finnish prime minister who's a cat girl.
I don't.
Cat girl,
Just-
like
and
from
especially
Batman. Like, what are we talking about here?
No, like cat girl.
Like by picture too. Like I like, you know, I'm not ashamed to say it. I would be so bad at female leaders. I can't wait to see it this season. I'm excited.
Sorry, Nando is googling the thing I said, and I saw his face just like eyes sort of pop, like ooh.
But I don't understand what this means, right? She edits pictures of herself as the okay, that's what it is. Okay, because I'm like, these pictures aren't real. Like, she doesn't have a tail, right? Or like a fake tail she wears around to court or whatever they do in that silly country. But good for her, man. She's
the
having
prime
fun.
minister. Wow.
Santa Martin, yeah. Imagine you had a leader of your country as silly as that.
Yeah,
What an
Wow.
idiot. They should have
Also,
cool leaders.
She's not
like
the
us.
current prime minister. She was previously.
Well, good for
Oh.
them.
Now she's out on a farm somewhere running around, you know, living her truth. That's what
I
they
hope she's
do.
one of the people who's pictured on the floor. No, man, this show's
Yeah.
so dumb, but it's like there's this weird addictive quality to it that I would say give it a shot. It won't make any sense when you're first watching it. Because I'm saying the first category is farm, and you're watching it, you're like, this can't be the show. It's impossible that this is the show, but it starts to click after a while.
Well,
And,
it does feel like a TikTok of a game show where it's just
my
like
God,
name a
it really
thing really
is.
quickly. And, you know, so yeah, it's a brain rot game show. It makes sense.
oh, it's the lowest bar of television, and I'm addicted to it, and I'm scared for myself. I'm scared of myself
Yeah.
of how much floor I need in my life. And you're like, I'm not gonna watch a whole season from scratch. Well, new one starts right after the Super Bowl, so Fox is going strong. They're doing Super Bowl right into the floor. So
Damn.
if you want to start fresh and watch a new season of The Floor with Rob Lowe, the worst game show host God has created. He was not meant to do this. He has horrible interpersonal skills. It's
Discord,
terrible.
I'm issuing a challenge to you, which is to show DJ game show hosts that are worse than Rob Lowe, because there's no way it's true that he's the worst one.
I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, who's the worst game show host ever?
And not like the game show
mean-
host who's the worst person, because that's Chuck Woolery, but he was decent at the job.
Yeah, don't pick the Family Guy people who smooched all those people. Like,
Oh, yeah, that
Family
guy.
Guy,
Feud.
that's right.
Family Feud. The Family Feud people
The
that
one
smooched
from
all
Running
those
Man.
people.
No, I do think like Mayim Bialik was pretty bad at Jeopardy, right? Like there were some bad Jeopardy hosts in the.
She was fine. She was
She
fine.
didn't have it.
Very-
I
fairly
mean,
harmless.
Yeah, but I wonder who is the worst game show host. What about Michael Strahan? He hosted something, right, for a while. Another one
He's
of these
charming.
fuckers. Is he good? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just find in general he's charming.
Well, so people should watch The Floor, you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's horrible.
I'm saying if you should try it because maybe brain rot and yeah. This is not financial advice.
That's a strong rec from DJ. A strong rec.
This is the thing that's consumed me. So, well, that's me. Diggins, how about you?
I watched a couple movies this week. First of all is a little family-friendly entertainment. A little nice movie to take your kids to if the people I saw the movie with are any indication.
Oh, yeah, I saw your tweet or your red whatever. Yeah. Or not red, Letterboxd.
My Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched a little movie called Babygirl.
Mm-hmm.
DJ, this might be one you want to take Jackson to.
Oh.
Yeah, so it stars Nicole Kidman.
Mm-hmm.
As sort of like girl boss CEO type, who ends up drawn into a torrid affair with an intern who sort of realizes and like indulges her fetish for being submissive and humiliated.
Okay.
There's a lot of like on-screen sex scenes. It opens with an on-screen sex scene between her and Antonio Banderas, her husband.
Well, that's spicy.
Mm-hmm. I mention all this because, again, I saw this in a movie theater where people brought 3 small children to see this movie.
No, fuck off. No way.
That happened.
What did they think? What did the kids, were they crying? Were they loving it? Like,
they were like toddlers. Like, they clearly didn't understand what was happening, but they always knew to start babbling and making noise whenever people were boning down. So,
So are you saying Diggins something? Did you hit a witch with your car? Is that what I'm reading from this?
Well, you would think that if this bothered me and wasn't just an incredibly funny thing that didn't really impact my experience of the movie. But in fact, it was that second thing. So I don't think this is a witch curse at all.
You don't think any of the things that happened to you is part of the witch curse?
Maybe part of the witch curse is being bothered by people doing perfectly anodyne things.
I don't know. I want someone now to just bring in the lobster roll and sit right next to you.
Yeah.
Listen, if a teenager is behind me, like talking loudly or on their phone, that is annoying and I don't like it. If a small child occasionally babbles during a sex scene of a movie that is honestly kind of funny anyway, that don't bother me at all.
I don't know why you I don't get this, like, bring your kids to movie because you couldn't find a cinema.
I think it's insane that they did it, but it didn't bother me.
I'm trying to think what's the worst one recently. I mean, I don't know. Someone brought a baby to Sonic, but like, I think all bets are off with kids movies.
For the kids movie, it's like whatever. Like, you expect for there to be kids there. If I'm an adult at a kids movie and I'm getting annoyed at a kid, like, come on. This is their space. This isn't for me.
Not a kid, a baby. Baby's different from kid.
But even still.
Yeah.
Anyway, the actual movie is great. So yeah, like I said, it's Nicole Kidman is sort of the main actor. The what's his name? Harris Dickerson, I think, is the intern.
From King's Man, the one with Hitler.
King's Man with Hitler. It felt to me like very much a sort of like play on the old like erotic thrillers of the 90s. It's sort of about like people being drawn into this web of like dangerous lust. But with a much more like sort of modern take on like sexuality to it, which I thought was very interesting. It's at times very funny because like her main kink is being like humiliated or treated like a dog, and that's just wild. But it's also like very intense, and I think Nicole Kidman gives this really great sort of like layered performance as this woman who is sort of simultaneously like absolutely terrified about like realizing that she wants these things, but also like sort of thrilling and delighting in like getting these things that she's finally admitting to herself she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I think it's really good. I think it's really good, and I liked it a lot. I also watched another movie. Unfortunately, within this past week, David Lynch passed away. Great American filmmaker, one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. I think a very singular artist. I like. He's one of those guys that now there's like a style of movie that people call Lynchian, because the things he was doing were so like singular that like you had to just describe it as like him to get the idea across. Because like nothing else was quite like that. Which I think is like the best, the highest compliment an artist can get is like, your thing is so different from everything else that we just describe it as like you. So in his honor, I watched Blue Velvet, a movie of his I've never seen before. Blue Velvet was his, I think, fourth movie after Eraserhead, Elephant Man, Dune, and then Blue Velvet. His first time working with Laura Dern, and sort of like the thing that sort of launched her career. It's very much like, if you're familiar with his work, it's very much in keeping with a lot of it. It's like a neo-noir psychological horror sort of thing, where it's Kyle MacLachlan is this like college student who comes back to his suburban town because his dad had an accident, and like finds out about this whole like web of conspiracy and crimes that's like happening just in this small town, and starts trying to investigate it on his own, and ends up drawn into this whole like weird psychosexual nightmare that's happening. And I don't want to say too much more than that to like spoil what happens, but it's very surreal. It's very like frightening in ways that are hard to describe why they're frightening, which I think is another like kind of trademark of David Lynch, where he'll make something that like what's actually happening is just kind of weird or like bizarre or inexplicable, and yet there's this aura of menace to it that like feels really compelling. And so I just I love his stuff. The third season of Twin Peaks is literally the best season of TV I've ever seen in my life. So I just wanted to have something I could rec here to give a little shout out to David Lynch and his effect on American cinema, because like I said, he's one of my favorites. So Blue Velvet. What about you, Nando?
I watched a couple movies as well. None like that, but different. In that they are both one. Well, one was from last year. I didn't watch it when it came out, but I finally watched Twisters. I can't remember. You guys watched that yet?
Yeah, nope. I think I wrecked it once.
Yeah, I thought so, and it's like pretty good. I liked it more or less. Yeah, it's not maybe as fun as the old Twister was, but it's got something. It's got a charm, and it does things that are kind of fun. Yeah.
If you had seen it before Hitman, would you still think Glenn Powell's a star?
I mean, yes. Yes. Because his character in that movie is so, like, I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again, because the movie, like, originally it's like, oh, this guy sucks, right? And then after time, it's like, well, not to spoil the movie, immediately he's not supposed to be as big of a jerk. You're like, oh, there's more to this guy than meets the eye. But I still found him rather unlikable. But, whatever.
Yeah.
He's fine. It was okay. I think I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. Some of the tornadoes were cool. It does feel like with Twisters, it's like, I feel like, have there ever been that many Twisters that went through the middle of a town, like within days of each other? It feels like kind of, obviously it's unrealistic, but it just feels weird. Considering it's supposed to be like a semi-realistic disaster movie, but I don't know. It's cool. I wouldn't say it's like the best movie ever made, but pretty good. And it has the mom from Liar Liar, so that was great. besides that, I also watched a movie, and I've watched a couple of episodes of the show. Excuse me, this movie is based on. And I saw a clip of it going around the other day on, like, Bluesky or whatever, Reddit. And then I was like, I should watch these. I've never watched these. And I watched it. And I think it's the best thing ever made. It is Naked Gun movies, and then the Police Squad show that the Naked Gun came from, which I had never seen.
With my favorite actor, O.J. Simpson.
That's right, OJ.
Ayo.
So it's funny how little he's in them. Like, I don't know what the deal is with this, and I wonder if this was a thing at the time. Like, his character in the first one, at least, gets written out of it immediately and is always, like, in a cast, so he's not really there. And I'm like, but he's not in the show that much either. Like, so what's the point of this? Is this a joke on stunt casting a celebrity? Was he doing other stuff at the time? And you were like, oh, right, because he was busy with this. But I really don't know what the deal is with him. The first one has the villains, and both of them are great. The villain in the first one is Ricardo Montalban, and he's very funny. And then the villain in the second one is Robert Goulet, who I'd never seen in a movie before. I only know Robert Goulet from the Saturday Night Live sketches that Will Ferrell used to do. Are you familiar with those?
I mean, I'm familiar with Robert Goulet, but not.
What are you familiar with him from besides that, then? Because I had never heard of him before.
Okay, so this is like such a stupid deep cut. He was the original Lancelot in Camelot.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, he's a singer as well.
It was a very distinctive voice. So
yeah. And they used to do a sketch, and because back when we were kids, and me and like my sister watched the Will Ferrell best of box set. This was in there. This sketch where he would Robert Goulet would sell an album to you of like Robert Goulet singing songs, and the jokes were like kind of like he would say his own name a lot, and Will Ferrell would be like really weird, like any Will Ferrell bit. And I was like trying to explain this to Hannah, because I'm like, it's funny because of this one thing from my childhood. So I tried to find the sketch on YouTube, and I couldn't find it, and I was like, oh, that's weird. I tried to find it like a lot. Let me see if I can show it to you guys, and you can figure out. It is, so what the bit used to be, and I'm going to share it in the chat because it is insane. This was like shocking to me. Because this was an SNL bit, was Robert Goulet used to sing like popular songs of the day, but in the crooner Robert Goulet bit, and this was Will Ferrell, right? Like, so I just sent you a thing in the chat. We all want to start it at the same time and have a heart attack. You ready?
1 second.
Okay. And I'm not going to play this for people, but this is what the SNL sketch was.
Okay,
so
I'm ready.
Everybody get ready. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
He's doing the thong song.
Oh, no!
I know.
Stop.
So that's why you can't find him online anymore. I know. I had the same reaction when I showed it to Hannah. I was like, oh my God.
Will Ferrell says the N-word.
Yeah.
That word is in the thong song.
In the thong song by Cisco.
That was Diggins' Oh No. And he says the N-word. Oh my God.
He screams it because he's crooning, and it's like the end of the line too. So it's like,
what?
There's a lot of emphasis that gets put on it.
I roughly know.
I know.
When Will Ferrell was on SNL, like I have an idea, but like when was this sketch?
Oh, like 1990. He was on SNL from 95 to 2002. So somewhere in there.
Yeah, late 90s probably. What the fuck?
I mean, I don't know, but because this was a bit that they did many times. So it's not like they did the Robert Goulet bit and then it was fucking a disaster, and then everybody came out and apologized next week, like is what they would do if that happened today. They brought it back. They were like, "It's more Goulet. Let's do it."
Well, they couldn't have picked a song with the N-word each time, right?
I don't think they did. But yeah, I could not.
Holy shit!
Shocking.
And he belts it, right?
Yeah, there's no hesitation on Will Ferrell's part.
It's weird too, because like There's a version of that sketch too where it's like, and that right, like there's other ways,
and
man.
You could convince me that, like, because you watch some SNL sketches from, like, especially even from the 90s where, like, you know, what's his name's doing fucking Japanese game show guy, Mike Myers is doing that, and you're like, that's what everybody was doing, and it's not, doesn't make it okay, but it's not shocking. You're like, yeah, that's 90s. This is like, I feel like something completely different, but I don't know, maybe people love, maybe Will Ferrell just could do no wrong, or, you know, maybe just I don't know, maybe
that's some shit, man. That's fucking crazy.
It is crazy.
He just says the N word.
But then, like, I'd be like, what was Tim Meadows thinking during this or something, right? Like, what are the actual cast members on SNL at the time? Were they just like, go for it, Will, you got this? Or were they like, I don't want to, it's blew my mind. Anyway, the Naked Gun movie is very funny. They really are like the funniest movies ever made.
Good way to get there. That's pretty good.
This was a humongous, like, it was a humongous part of it, and why I still haven't finished the second one is because it completely derailed our Naked Gun watching experience. But Naked Gun 1 is like, yeah, if anybody's never watched them, it's Leslie Nielsen, OJ Simpson a little bit, and yeah, like Ricardo Montalban, Lisa Presley, I think, or whatever her name is in there. She's like the love interest, and it's just so, every joke is so stupid and so, like, silly, and it's just like, I just got so much, like, I feel like we don't have enough comedies now that are as dumb as this. And I know these guys went on to do, like, the Scary Movies, which I think the first one and two of them have some jokes. Before they become pop culture bonanzas, they were, like, kind of funny, but, like, we have not reached that peak. The only thing that kind of reminds me of that is, like, the Pop Star movie and Hot Rod and stuff like that, where it's just, like, dumb every second. But yeah, loved it. It's great. The other thing is, I don't know, did we wrap Severance last week? Because Severance is back yet? I don't know.
I can't remember. It's great. That first episode, so good.
That show just is incredible. We're all learning, you know, slowly about all the stuff. Can't wait to find out all the stuff. And yeah, those are the main things. What are we gonna do next week, fellas?
We know
the Marky Mark movie.
Yes. Oh my
Flight
God.
Risk, baby.
Yeah, the Mel Gibson movie. Our new Hollywood overlord or whatever they call him. He's he's directing it. So pretty crazy. It's gonna be, we'll see. Haven't heard anything about it. Have you guys seen any reviews or anything like that?
No, I know nothing.
Not yet.
Right? Me neither. That's usually not a great sign. But oh no, never mind. There is a Rotten Tomatoes score. It is low. So
what, really?
Makes sense. What? Yeah,
I know. Even though one of the Hollywood ambassadors made it, this will not stand. But yeah, very excited for that. DJ, until then, do you have anything to plug?
Normally I would say listen to Roses and Rejections, but we haven't put out an episode in like a month. Just cause I don't know. Seems like
you're rejecting the Roses and Rejections. You know, this is the rejection of it.
I guess
you.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're rejecting reality TV.
We got Traitors we'll talk about. I mean, new Bachelor season starts Monday, the Monday that's closest to whenever this comes out. So, I mean, unless we decide, fuck it, we'll be back with that. I can't tell where I am with The Bachelor. They did this very smart thing. They spaced the seasons out so much that I forget from before, and I'm like, I guess I'm doing this thing.
Yeah.
If it was on like all the time, I would have tired of it. But they give you a big break, so you're like, oh yeah, I guess we're doing it. We're gonna do Bachelor. Yeah.
Good for them.
Good for them.
I'm not excited for this new one. He seems like a real drip. Grant, his name might be Grant.
Grant O'Brien?
I was going to say, that's a Bachelor season I'd watch. 50 Bachelors all in one night. Pretty good. Yeah, Grant Ellis is his name, apparently. So
yeah, he's just one of these guys who he's like, I'm gonna become the Bachelor by going on one of the other shows, The Bachelorette. I'm gonna be very inoffensive. I'm gonna say a lot of sound bites. I'm gonna be handsome, and then it's last man standing. Oh my God, it's me. I get to be the Bachelor. Let's go.
It's weird too, because he's younger than us. They're all probably younger than us, but this is the first time I've actually looked at one of their ages, and that makes me take them less seriously.
The average age of like the lead is like 26.
Oh wow, he's 31. He's an old man.
31?
He might as well be a golden bachelor as far as I'm concerned.
Seriously, yeah. That's old for a bachelor. I don't remember anything about him. I don't like him, but that's fine.
That's something you remember about him.
Yeah.
You just get these uninspiring leads, and it's like then you really need like the women to carry it, which like sometimes they can. Sometimes like they're just like I'm a great villain, and I'm gonna just like be a real piece of shit, and then that gets you through a season of The Bachelor. When the lead is just like cigar store wooden statue. So yeah,
A racist caricature of a Native American.
I just said a statue. It could be anything. You could put anything outside of a cigar store.
That's true.
Why did you go there, Diggins? Why did you go there?
Because that's the stereotypical image, DJ.
No, man, you gotta come into this 21st century where anything could be a statue outside of a cigar store.
That's right.
It could be a dog statue.
DJ, there's no more cigar stores. There's only vape shops.
Yeah,
that's true.
Shops.
God knows what are outside.
Like an alien or something, or like a wizard.
Or like a drawing of Bryan Cranston, and it's called like Heisenberg.
Yeah.
I would rather that be the lead for this Bachelor season than Grant Ellis.
Oh, Heisenberg? Hell yeah.
Yeah, Heisenberg would be awesome.
Like the character from there, but if he only smoked weed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think he'd be awesome.
If instead of being a meth dealer, he was a pot dealer.
Yeah.
I think he'd be an awesome lead. Anyway, so check out a podcast whenever we drop one. Diggins, what about you?
No, what about you, Nando?
Videos. I'm making videos. We got videos coming out about doing. It's January. The compilations, they're almost out. So the first one's going to be all the in defense of the DC movies all in one video. And then after that, some of the pitches. And then after that, new things. But they're not here yet. I imagine soon it'll be time for like on the Nando Cut channel. It'll be like, Captain America review and stuff like that. So keep an eye out for those, I guess, and more exciting Captain America content. I don't know when, I don't know when we're going to, I guess it's Valentine's Day, so it probably won't be for a while. But I went to the store today and saw some Captain America toys, and I was like, good. That's how this is supposed to go. We're back, baby. So pretty excited about that.
You can go put them up next to your Eternals toys.
Yeah, you can. If you got them, if you were lucky enough to be able to get, what's funny? You can get all of the Eternals for very cheap, except the fucking what's her name one, the Athena one. Very hard to get the Angelina Jolie one. Yeah, so that's
a lot of people making jars, if you know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, don't look it up.
I don't know what you mean, but that's pretty good.
Don't look it up.
Well,
okay, yeah.
Oh, and speaking of things to wreck, I forgot about this. I knew I was forgetting something. Have either of you guys heard of Rap World?
No.
Oh, it's the new Conor O'Malley thing. It's like a fake kind of from back when he was younger, like documentary it's not a documentary, but it's kind of stylized like that. As like a found footage, like some guys making a rap album. It's very funny. If you're into Conor O'Malley stuff like I am, like it's it's incredible. So yeah. But so next week, that one thing
He's
we
married
said.
to A.D. Bryant? Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They used to comedy couple.
Because he used to write for Seth Meyers for a while. And I think she was, at SNL at the same time. So they're in the same building, They're bound to fall in love eventually.
That's how it works.
Or Scarlett Johansson or something. I don't know. Nobody knows how any of that works. That's why it's crazy that on SN or on Seth Meyers, Lutz from 30 Rock is just there because he's a writer, and he's like, yeah, that's him because he works there. And I think he's married to the other woman in 30 Rock that was a writer who had a Norwegian persona or something. I don't remember, but either way, anyway, this is funny. Conor O'Malley's great. So next week, Mark Wahlberg in the plane, 9/11, but not 9/11. We'll see. Until then, I've been at Nando View Movies on Bluesky.
I'm at Zippy by Day on that same platform.
I'm at C. Diggins on the Biscuit.
That's all I got. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye. We love you.